All right, let's get right into things. Thank you guys for coming, and obviously, more people will show up as we go. But yeah, lots of streaming ahead. I did not realize that COA was starting this weekend, but it apparently is. But I have a lot of free time on weekends now, so hopefully I'll be able to keep up with everything. Um I'm gonna try and do streams every day that we have COA qualifiers. I don't know how well that's gonna go or how long that's going to actually last for. But I am gonna try and do as much of COA as I can this year. And obviously I'm gonna be okay, not obviously because I'm bad at remembering to do this, but as much as I can, I'm going to remember to upload these streams to YouTube, so you will be able to watch them there. I know I'm kind of bad at remembering to do it, but for COA and for COA qualifiers, I am going to try to do that as much as possible. Yeah, so there's 2 matches today. It should honestly be pretty quick. The video, as you can see in the corner there, the stream's only a little over 4 hours long, which is not long when it comes to tournament streams. Those they average at around like 6 hours or more, depending on the format. Obviously this is qualifiers, so we're looking at right now, I could go back and show the spreadsheet on this. Actually, you know what, I will do that because I would like to. So for Japan COA qualifiers, sorry, I'm also trying to find the screen where they show all the teams. I think it should be pretty close to where we are. There we are. Yeah, so there's, I think, 5, yeah, there's 5 pro teams. Yes. No. Yes. Wait, 1, 2... They like staggered them, so I'm having trouble reading this. I think it's 5 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So there's 5 pro teams and there's 5 non-pro teams that they have qualified, or they've qualified for the qualifiers basically. So we have AXIZ Wave, AWG, FAV, FL, and RC. Those are the teams that we've already, we're very familiar with those. Obviously, they've played in IJL, so, familiar faces there. And for the non-pro teams, we have MYWL, AN, and JP. We also have STR, which is technically, they're not a pro team, but, they are. It's made up of a bunch of, I believe, streamers, and also just, I think maybe ex-pro players. I'm not too keen on the details for this. Somebody else, like Ray, could probably, help me with that one, but yeah, so STR is definitely a team to look out for. I'm very excited to see if hopefully... Oh, really? That's awesome. Yeah, I do think, I'm probably going to recognize some of the names as they pop up, because I do follow a lot of Japanese players, but I don't know specifically which team each one is on. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see if any of the non-pro teams are able to make it into COA, because obviously, we're... it's cool to see that happen on any region, really, I think, especially, from NAU, where we are, a region made up of entirely non-pro teams. It's cool to see other regions also have non-pro teams, because, we do kind of tend to look at other regions and go, oh, they're all pros. They're not all pros. Yeah, so it's very fun. But yeah, definitely anticipating a lot of Aeroplanist. That's gonna be awesome. And he is getting nerfed at the end of the season, which honestly, I don't love. I feel like he was already balanced enough, in my opinion, because it's okay, well, he can go further, but it's hard to control, first of all. Second of all, the cooldown is 12 seconds, which is much more than both Mercenary and Patient. So I felt like he was already balanced. I definitely understand why they're nerfing him. I like that they're nerfing more survivors. Can we nerf Priestess instead of Aeroplanist? Can we nerf Cheerleader instead of... Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, I got on the topic of Charles, but we are going to just continue, and I don't want to go ahead. Yeah, I just want to get into the player stats here. Hopefully they're going to be a little bit more reliable than the player stats that we've seen in the past. They buffed Cheerleader? Hold! Whoa, 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 whoa. What? I'm sorry? They buffed Cheerleader? Oh, I had no idea she got buffed at all. Sorry, that scared me. Don't say those words to me. That's so scary. If they buffed cheerleader now. Oh, okay. No, okay. That's actually I do think that they should add that, making it automatic, just because it's really stupid that you have to press a button. Anyway, uh, our everyone's favorite KKK, that win rate is a little bit sad, but you know what? It's not really that sad considering this is a Hermit. Hermit's greatest counter is 4-man VC's source. I made Hermit, and every time I get a team with a 4-man VC, I'm like, oh god, no. But yeah, I'm very excited to see KKK coming back. I feel like he was really hitting a stride, and AXIZ Wave was really hitting a stride at the end of IJL, not so much at the beginning of IJL, but they were really kind of coming together towards the end of it. So I'm very excited to see AXIZ Wave in COA qualifiers. I really hope that they do well. I'm definitely rooting for them, which is not in any small part due to the fact that they have a Hermit main as their main hunter. I am not biased. But yeah, I'm very excited to see AXIZ Wave coming into this. We're going to see, obviously, we have Takako on the Mercenary. I'm just going to a little bit fast forward through this just because we are, or at least I'm already a little bit familiar with AXIZ Wave, and I do think I have some VODs up of AXIZ Wave on YouTube, maybe. I don't actually remember. Anyway, Otto with the Norton. And also, I mean, there's not really like that much to talk about here, I guess. Nyan with the forward coming out. I do like seeing the difference between the win rate and the escape rate. We're seeing 25% win rate with a 33% escape rate, which does make sense for a forward. It's, you know, you get out more often when you're a tankier character just because the hunter doesn't want to chase you, and inevitably, you know, you end up solo escape. The story of the Mercenary. We're going to see Tuna here as well with that 33% escape rate. Does make sense that they all have very similar win rates considering they are all on the same team. That's kind of how that works. But moving on to WL, this is actually a very exciting lineup here. It looks like we've got a second Hermit main. We've also got a Bonbon coming on the field, as well as a Perfumer. Obviously, we're going to see Antiquarian and Prospector, but I think maybe the most interesting thing here is the mechanic. Obviously, you know, a lot of the times these teams will pick their favorite character or just a character that they want to represent them rather than their actual main. And oh no, we did actually see, I think we saw some members. I recognize Pinota, but I don't think Pinota was on WL for whatever I last saw them in. Anyway, I might just be misremembering, but I don't think we've seen Warroad 1 before. Very excited to see a second Hermit hitting the field here. I love Hermit gameplay. I'm sorry. I know that is not an opinion that everyone agrees with me on, but I love Hermit gameplay. It's so fun. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to play. Do not call me out on my wording. My wording is fine. But I enjoy Hermit gameplay, and it looks like Waro 1 actually has a pretty decent win rate there with that 62%. Was it 62? I didn't honestly catch the number. But moving on to this Perfumer here with Fuku, I am very excited to see if we get a Perfumer on the field here. Perfumer, I feel like, oh my god. Oops. I just dropped so many things off my desk. I don't know how much of that picked up on the mic, but, my bad. Anyway, yeah, where everything's fine here. I got so excited over Vera, I, like, you know, crashed all of my personal belongings, but it's fine. Yeah. I'm just glad I almost knocked over my water glass and I didn't, so we're good, we're okay. But moving on, we're going to see our first Antiquarian of the day. It wasn't, I literally just elbowed my headphones and it went into everything else. But yeah. We've got an Antiquarian here, which is not something that is surprising in the slightest. I would honestly be expecting more Antiquarian bans than seeing her actually get played at this point. She is just such a strong multi-purpose stunner. There's really nothing that Antiquarian can't do, and I love that. And then rounding us out here with the Prospector, I think we're rounding us out here at least. We didn't actually look at the other Hunter, did we? Or is that just gonna come in at the end? Oh, I forgot about Pinota, yeah. With the Mechanic. Yeah, I do hope that we see some more unconventional. Okay, we're just not gonna look at the other hunter. Cool. I do like when we get kind of the more unconventional team comps here, but we are gonna get our map bans and picks in. Got WL banning what I believe is Arms Factory, if I'm seeing that right, and Axis Wave is going to pick Red Church, which is honestly, I do think that coming into COA, we're gonna see more defensive picks. So, KKK's hunting round 1? That's interesting. I wonder if it would be risky. It would be very risky here, but with KKK hunting first, they could go Hermit. Whoa! Sorry, I haven't seen the animations for the... Why are they coming down? That's so awesome. I'm sorry. I haven't seen the interface. I knew they were gonna do something cool for the interface, but having them just come down like that is so funny. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna pull myself together. For our bans here, we have Coordinator, Antiquarian. As I was saying, yeah, Antiquarian being banned first, there is kind of a given. We've got Seer locked in 3rd and Dancer 4th as our bans. We've got Perfumer. Gardener and Perfumer are our first picks here. Then we come in with the Mercenary and the Patient. So already we are going to see that Perfumer come out here from WL, just getting her on the field as soon as possible. Does make sense if we're looking at an opera singer? Sure, play the Perfumer. Okay, we are going to look at the opera singer, so yeah, a little bit lower risk there. For KKK, but I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, because I feel like we could have gone round 1 Hermit. It would have been a huge risk, but like high reward kind of thing. But I do think that the Red Church pick would be a little bit more to support the opera singer. And I feel like teams are going to be a little bit more defensive. This is just my prediction. But I feel like teams are going to be a little bit more defensive with their opera singers. We saw a lot of round 1, Leo's Memory and a lot of round 1 Moonlit River Park in kind of previous IJL, IVL to try and counter the opera singer. But I feel like since the nerf and as well as with people knowing how to counter her, I feel like Red Church, maybe not Arms Factory, but like Eversleeping, Chinatown, maybe not Chinatown. I feel like Chinatown's gonna be still saved. But like Eversleeping and Church might be a little bit more common in round 1. Obviously, that's still up to be seen, but that's going to be my personal prediction. But I do think it's a little bit interesting here that WL locked in a Mercenary instead of a First Officer, because First Officer is also good against Hermit. So I feel like they could have gotten away with a First Officer here. They might have not brought him out yet just because they wanted to kind of bring out the Mercenary before they have no more chance to use the Mercenary, but Mercenary is relatively weak against Opera Singer, so, it is what it is. Hello, thank you for coming to the stream. I hope that we are enjoying things so far as we get into the action. So, yeah, round 1 here, pretty much no stakes at this point in the game. Well, not no stakes, obviously, but, yeah, just getting as many points on the board as possible here is the goal for both sides. We're going to see KKK heading towards the center here, where it does look like Perfumer... Oh no, she's further off than I thought. It does look like she's actually been able to hide, and we're going to see the blood trail of Yunomaro there on the Patient. So not a... Oh no, is that Patient? Yes, it is Patient. I did not recognize the silhouette of his COA skin. That's nice that they have all the updates here. I wonder if someone will play Hoster. That's my COA, put that on the COA bingo card. We should make a COA bingo card. Someone playing Hoster. But anyway, back to the match at hand. Beautiful pallets done there by Yunomaru, and just using these pallets here to create as much distance as possible. Just staying away from the opera singer is really the goal. It does, yeah, we are going to be able to get that hit in. And it does look like Yunomaru has broken windows. As for the other personas, I don't think they actually showed it before, or I just completely missed it. But we're going to have Tide on the Mercenary, obviously. It looks like we're actually carrying Tide and Broken Windows, no Borrowed Time on the Gardener. We're going to have Broken Windows and Borrowed Time on the Perfumer, but a beautiful Terror Shock there on the Patient there from KKK. And it does look like Gardener's in the area here. We're going to actually come out with the Abnormal as our first trait. And yeah, that was the first trait there, going to knock out that Abnormal right away. This is a strategy that we haven't actually seen in a minute here with that Abnormal Opera Singer. That's been a strategy more commonly used in China. We saw a lot of, I think Dongshin was kind of pioneering that in early IVL. But it's kind of fallen by the wayside, to be honest. So I'm excited to see that Abnormal strategy coming back here. And that's something you can really do on Red Church, because, 99% chance somebody's going to be decoding there because it's such a small map. Like, whoever you're chasing is inevitably going to kite to where somebody's decoding. So with Opera Singer's mobility as well, it's a lot safer to just do that. But, getting the hit in right away on Patient. Gardener not able to eat that body block. Nice pallet stun, though, to allow Patient to get some distance, but Patient is still going to be going down. KKK not going to bother to take the hit on the Gardener, though, is just going to continue to follow the Patient. We can get an extra hit in here. Yep, we are going to get that full presence. So nicely done there. And Patient's just going to go ahead and die in the corner. Our Cypher progress is looking a little hermity, though. With all... is that every Cypher on the map? I think we might be missing maybe one Cypher here, in terms of all of the Cyphers that have spawned total. But yeah, we've got 5 Cyphers on the go here. All of them are nearing or past half already. So we are still at 5 Cyphers at this point in the game, but because of that distribution, that's a lot of progress that they've been able to do. Domeki, Mercenary coming in for the rescue here. That didn't actually process to me that, like, since we have the COA skins, like, they're, like, fully updated here, with the crossovers. But yeah, nice rescue there from the Mercenary, and Patient is kind of flying a little bit blind here, doesn't have anything else to work with other than Broken Windows, but is just going to take the hit. Not any harassers in sight. We could maybe see Gardener harassing, but no, it does look like KKK is just going to go ahead and actually Abnormal the Cypher once again, bringing that 90% Cypher down to 50%. A lot of Cypher progress on the field here, but in that same vein, I feel like having Abnormal, it's honest, I don't know. I feel like it's a double-edged sword, because having Abnormal, it reduces in effectiveness the more times you use it. So we're seeing it at pretty greatly reduced here, now that we've used it twice. I think it's only going to take off about maybe 30%. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but we do have Trump card in play, so yeah. Patient is going to take off, and Mercenary is going to be our next chase. We are seeing a little bit here how weak the Mercenary can be against Opera Singer, but a beautiful elbow pad there. Very nicely done there from Ichigo, just to get out of the way as much as possible. KKK placing a lot of decoys around here, and nothing that Ichigo could do to really dodge that hit. So Mercenary will be going down in about 1 second there. That the nerf on the delayed damage is just so noticeable against an Opera Singer. It really just doesn't do anything, especially against how fast the Opera Singer can move. Yeah, I really do feel like First Officer would have been a better choice here, especially with the decoding as well. They would have had even more decoding on the field, but either way, they're not doing badly at all. They're definitely in a draw situation here. KKK nicely done, baiting out that Perfume, just placing so many decoys around this area, but it does look like, we're actually going to overshoot that. The trail disappeared right before KKK was able to dash back to it. But it does look like we're going to just try and rescue this Mercenary at the last possible second, trying to get back to one of those Cyphers that's at, probably the one that's at 69% is the location that's being pinged. No, actually, Pinota is going to return to that 50% Cypher. That Cypher has been almost fully decoded twice now. That's just crazy. But yeah, we're just going to continue camping here. Fuku in the area, ready to come in for the rescue, and it doesn't look like, no, down in the basement here, for that hiding spot. Fuku is going to come out, but I feel like maybe If Kakaka had gone for the hit, I feel like, well, no, because Perfumer would have still been damaged. So just waiting as long as possible here and getting that hit immediately. But we are going to be able to make that Cypher pop. Mercenary is going to be injured here. Not able to take a detention hit, but this is definitely still looking like a tie situation unless somehow Mercenary can contain enough to get to Dungeon. Dungeon is here, but that is going to be, it looks like our last elbow pad. I didn't realize that there was another elbow pad to use. That did look like an elbow pad, though. But yeah, Mercenary is going to go down right over Dungeon here. But we're going to teleport right away over to that gate. The gate is at 76%. Very, very close to being opened. And that was definitely a really good and very aggressive choice to teleport there. If Kakaka had waited until after Cherry the Mercenary, that gate would have absolutely been opened. So very nicely done there. A little bit risky, though, because Mercenary does still have self-heal. Fuku is also still in the area to self-heal. But with Pinota down, this is still pretty much a guaranteed tie at worst. Looks like we are going to double back here over to the Mercenary once again, and just get him chaired before he's able to heal. And yeah, he is going to be chaired here. Other gate is going to be open, though, and it is very possible Pinota is at about 60% self-healing here. Are we going to be able to self-heal in time? I do think the bubble will be up, and that's a little bit dangerous, especially with how close the Cypher is, but unfortunately, Gardner's not going to be able to self-heal here. This is going to be a 1-man escape and a 3-man elimination here for AXIZ Wave in the first round. Very nicely played, though, as well by WL Survivors. The elbow pad, I really do want to bring attention to that Mercenary's elbow pad, honestly. Because it is so rare that elbow pads are actually effectively utilized against an opera singer, but that gave so much time to his kite. If KKK had been a little bit more defensive, and not gone for that teleport right away, that would have absolutely been a draw. But just way to bring that back around from KKK, just taking that risk. And that really, you know what, I feel like that is kind of not only the marker of a good hunter, but also the marker of a hermit, main, like with that, kind of boldness that you need to secure a win. That is definitely something that comes with playing hermit. You need to be very aggressive, with that teleport, and just, you know, guarding the gates as much as possible. So you can kind of see that reflected there in KKK's playstyle, which is always, that's something that I find very fun, is like seeing who hunters main and then seeing how their main kind of influences how they play other characters. I know I do this myself, between Lizard and Hermit. I do that with other hunters that I play as well. I stop playing hunters if I can't play them like I play Lizard. So yeah, but we are going to look at the stats here a little bit. We're going to see that 78 seconds of containment here from the patient, but very, very low containment times overall. Not very low, but like, you know, 78 seconds from the patient, 75 seconds from the mercenary. So yeah, no, actually, no, that is actually quite high containment time across the board here. It's low numbers, but high in general. Which makes sense, you know, considering 3 out of 4 of the survivors have rescues under their belt. But yeah, that 300% decoding progress here from the Gardener is a little bit sad. But it was a very, very close match here, and just very well done. Basically that should have been a draw. Speaking, you know, it was a draw situation that KKK was able to turn into a win for AXIZ Wave. But WL Survivors did play that very, very smoothly. Yeah, so moving on to the second half. If I can find my timestamp. Also, hello, Rib. Sorry I did not acknowledge your presence before just now. Match was happening, and I think I overshot that just a little bit, but it's okay. I'm going to go back right now. We did not see those hunter bans, or those survivor bans, but those are going to come in very shortly here. We're going to ban Lawyer and Barmaid, and keeping in mind here that Warot 1 is, in fact, a Hermit main, that Barmaid ban does say Hermit. Or Dream Witch, I guess, but an opera singer, maybe. It could be a bait and switch, definitely, for sure. But Barmaid is not somebody who you ban unless you're going to play somebody who is directly countered by Barmaid. Hermit is directly countered by Barmaid. Warot 1 is a Hermit main. And yep, AXIZ Wave is going to respond in kind here. We're going to take out that Enchantress as well as the Psychologist. So 2 very tanky survivors. Enchantress obviously does counter Hermit. with how easy it is for her to gather stacks. Psychologist as well is very strong against a Hermit, a little bit deceptively, you may say, but Hermit deals chip damage, and that chip damage can take out her shield. Yes, but also she can take an extra hit with that shield. So very much not really a double-edged sword. She's very much a strong survivor in general. And that is going to be the Priestess coming into play with World 1 banning the Aeroplanist here. Letting that recyclable Priestess onto the field in round 1 is very, very dangerous. I feel like that may have been a little bit of an oversight here. I definitely understand the Aeroplanist ban coming in, because if you had banned Priestess, you would probably get an Aeroplanist instead. Aeroplanist is a little bit more annoying to chase, and we are going to round out with that first officer here. Just for a little bit of context, by the way, my personal Hermit bans are first officer and Priestess. So looking at this lineup, this is scary. This is not a lineup you want to bring out a Hermit against. And the Barmaid ban does say Hermit, but that scares me. That really, really scares me. While we wait for this, I am going to put in the, let's see, let's get the scores in here. We've got 3-1 in that first round, and we're just going to I think they might actually be locking in their persona webs here, so it will be a second. I would definitely expect, Tide Turner on the first officer. They could go something crazy, like with maybe a Tide Broken Windows with the Priestess. I feel like would be fun. Would it be a good decision? Maybe not, but okay, we're gonna go with the Hermit. I'm scared. Okay? I'm very scared. This is not... Okay, so Hermit can probably get a tie here. As long as he's able to control the ciphers and take advantage of literally any opportunity that he has, should be able to get a pretty good draw. Red Church is a good map for Hermit. It's a very controllable map for Hermit. Even with Blink or Blink Abnormal, something like that, instead of Teleport, can definitely work on Red Church, but oof, the Enchantress here. Your best bet for a first chase is literally the Enchantress. And even then, Priestess in the center there, immediately that's going to be teammate support. Tuna's also a crazy Priestess, I remember this. So that's immediately going to be teammate support. They're kind of setting up here, I think, for Enchantress to get that first chase. Or they want Enchantress to get that first chase, I feel like. Maybe Psychologist as well. Psychologist is a pretty good first chase here. But I do feel like they're going to try and rotate into that Enchantress, have her take the first chase. But really no one here is a good first chase for Hermit. I would say maybe Priestess, just because she doesn't have anything else to work with after she's done with her portals, but she's still going to have quite a bit of teammate support. And just, yeah, the harassment from the Enchantress here, the tankiness of the Psychologist. First officer is first officer. You can't chase him first. God help you if you do. But yeah, this is what we call a headache in terms of team comps. And it's very, very well done here by Axis Wave. Just kind of not even anticipating the Hermit. The Barmaid ban was like a big flashing sign over WL's head saying, hey, we're gonna play Hermit here. Please counter me. Please, I want you to play Enchantress to counter me. That's what happens when you ban Barmaid. Like, that's an immediate, that's like a, it's a, like, that. This is why I don't ban Barmaid when I play Hermit, because it's like, I would rather deal with the Barmaid than tell the survivors that I'm gonna play Hermit. But also in a tournament context, definitely understand banning the Barmaid. Because the other team already knows that you're a Hermit main. And that you're very likely to bring out Hermit in round 1 before he gets banned. So it's it is what it is. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword here for World 1, but all we can hope for is the best. So this is going to be second half of round 1 here. We're going to see WL hunting, Axis Wave surviving. Win conditions here, or tie conditions here, WL needs to get a 4-man elimination in order to win the round. They are going to need to get a 3-man elimination, no, wait, I got this back. No, wait, yes. Yeah, 3-man elimination in order to tie. Anyway, we are going to get, looks like Enchantress here is going to be our first chase, which is not great. But it is honestly the best bet situation, especially since we have gotten the ciphers connected very quickly. We do as well. Okay, no, the timer is up and we haven't been able to get our first hit in yet. So that damage is going to be shared here, but nicely done getting that stun through the window. Unfortunately, that damage is going to be shared between, it looks like 2 survivors. Yes, that is going to be 2 survivors taking that hit, Psychologist and Enchantress. So definitely a lot of tankiness here. It looks like we're going to actually double back over to the church and go on to the priestess. We do have it looks like we're carrying Insolence, Teleport, Detention here, which is actually my personal Hermit build, so definitely agree with this as a decision. Unfortunately, though, we're gonna get absolutely just walked here by this priestess, because she has... Okay, we have used all of our portals here, but that looks like we're almost to 1, I think, if I'm seeing this right, but it's not very easy to see on the video. Either way, yeah, it's not a great situation here to be kind of forced to chase this priestess, especially with the amount of shared damage that's going on here, but nicely done with that stun, getting the priestess from inside that pallet, and we are going to be able to continue the chase here. It does... There's not quite enough Cypher progress here to really be an issue just yet. But yeah, Priestess is just going to continue with this loop. Oh, and it looks like we're going to switch targets once again here onto the Enchantress. This amount of target switching is a little bit dangerous. It can definitely work. But switching back onto the Enchantress here, especially with not having a lot of stuns on hand, can be very, very dangerous, especially for a Hermit. You know, Enchantress is a lot easier to chase for a Hermit late game because you generally always have a stun on you. But in early game, before you've been able to hit max presence, it's a lot harder. We are at 4 ciphers remaining here. Every cipher on the map obviously does have progress on it, or pretty much every cipher on the map has progress on it. Just going to continue to work here. A little bit of an overshoot on that teleport, but just continuing with this Priestess here. We should be able to down Priestess. Yeah, okay. Without the shared charges, Priestess is going to go straight down, which is very good news. We're at around 3 ciphers remaining. This is definitely a draw situation right now, and a little bit unfortunate. They did take a lot of time to heal. And that's kind of, you know, it is what it is. And it's good for like longevity. It's not so great for kind of the long run with Cypher Rush, because Hermit can control the final Cypher very, very heavily. And it does look like we're going to end up in a situation where the last 2 ciphers have almost no progress on them. So a little bit unfortunate. We are going to get a hit in on the first officer here. Unfortunately, it's Basil. I'm very sorry for every Jose fan in the chat, which is all 2 of you. But yeah, we're going to be able to continue on Priestess here. Nice job with that portal just to gain a little bit more distance away from the Hermit. Nicely done with that stun though, but it's not going to be quite enough time. She's not going to go ahead and vault that pallet, being very aware of the Priestess's, debuff on that, but nicely done with that teleport, and she is going to take a hit. Unfortunately, it is going to be shared. Does look like first officer took that hit. Wasn't quite sure where that damage went, but we are going to continue the chase here and get that stun through. Nicely done with the double stun there, just keeping her in place for the teleport. And she is going to go down once again. She does still have a second chair to sit through, though. We are at 3 ciphers remaining, almost 1 cipher. But if we look at the progress right now, last 3 ciphers are at 60 and 40. So yeah, I feel like we could probably mess with the connection a little bit here just to try and get them stuck. But let's see. We've got Takako at about 1 hit away from damage. We've got... Takako is actually working, the only person decoding right now, which is a little bit dangerous. I feel like we might have Takako switch here at the last second. No! Takako's not going to switch at all. It's just going to stay stuck on that connection. That's very dangerous here. We're almost at that final cipher, though, but I don't... Which cipher is Takako on? Because that is very important. We're going to continue the chase on the Priestess, but these ciphers... Okay, Takako did end up finishing... I don't know which cipher Takako is on, and that is scary. We're not able to get this hit just yet, but we're definitely going to have a 4-man endgame at this point. unless we're able to down Takako from a distance, but with Tuna having the red charge, Takako is pretty much safe here. That Cypher is going to pop a little bit slow because of the Hermit charge, but we are going to continue having this 4-man endgame. While it hasn't connected the gates yet, that's definitely a dangerous decision. I'm gonna say this might be a 1-man elimination unless we're able to get the teleport. Oh, but Nyan in the area here, and also with a charge, that is not good. Hermit does have detention. It's gonna be 3-man down here. We could possibly see this turn into, I would say maybe a 3-man. I think we're gonna be a draw here because Takako died far enough away that I don't think Warlord 1 actually knows where they are. So I would say unless Warlord 1 gets insanely lucky with this, we're not going to be able to find Takako in time. That exit gate is open. Do we know where First Officer is? We're kind of heading in the right direction here. Looks like Otto might be heading back to get this rescue. It's not going to be easy. We do need to guard that share. But yeah, this is I feel like we are going to end up with a draw here, which isn't the worst result. It does still result in a win here for AXIZ Wave with that 3-man elimination. Yeah, it is going to be a draw. That teleport was a little bit not wasted. It definitely makes sense for Hermit to teleport there, but yeah, that is going to be a draw. But a draw from a 3 to a 4-man escape there in that endgame, that is absolutely insane. And just really the danger. It's both the danger of having those charges against a Hermit, but it's also this is why you bring Detention Hermit. Even if you may not necessarily need it, when you need it, and it can be your absolutely greatest asset. And we saw that there. Just the turnaround there was incredible. Now, this does mean that we're not going to see Hermit again. At least from WL. They're definitely going to be banning that as soon as they can. And especially since like the Enchantress has been locked out. It would, they're not going to want to see that Hermit again. But yeah, what a first round there. First round of COA qualifiers here in 2024 Call of the Abyss 7. Hermit. What are the odds? But I feel like that is kind of a good, like, sign, I think, for the State of the Hunter meta, because, if you came in here directly from IVL or IJL, maybe a little bit less so IJL, but more IVL, Opera City. Completely Opera City. That's just my voice. The enunciation just happens on its own. But I think we're pretty much like a year anniversary out from when I started commentating, because my first time commentating was with Veronica for Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan qualifiers last year, which was super fun. I don't even know if that video is still up, but I think it is. If you can find that, then do it. It was I probably was really bad looking back, but I'm there. Yeah, and then I did it for Checkmate, and now I'm doing it for myself. But hey, if anybody knows of any tournaments or any opportunities that need a commentator, hi. I have some free time that I can dedicate to that. But anyway, yeah, I love this. I really do. I am very excited to see kind of what happens in this COA. I feel like watching COA, this is my fourth COA, I think. Because if we count, because it was COA 4 was my first, and then COA 5, COA 6. It's gonna be my fourth COA. And I feel like just kind of the amount of understanding that kind of builds on itself over the years. I mean, it's crazy that this is my fourth COA. It really is. Like, I don't even know what to think of that. I mean, I feel like it's kind of sad, honestly, this is my fourth COA. But yeah, I mean, the way that the game has evolved since COA 4 is insane, and like in ways that I would have never anticipated before. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. I only really started like watching COA in COA 5. I mean, I watched some COA for COA 4, but it was very much like, you know, I didn't know what was happening. This was before we knew like a lot of the NAU like beef was a lot more public. Like before you was just kind of hated back in the LCY days kind of thing. Oh my god, no, I remember that story. But yeah, and then I feel like, you know, it is just it's a lot of learning to do. But it becomes like I feel like it's intimidating, especially since there's so many different teams and so many different intricacies, but like I don't know all the players. Yeah, no, there's a difference between watching COA casually and watching COA once you've started like actually watching tournament, and then you can, you know, just kind of go crazy. I mean, before and I'm just kind of going on a tangent now. I'll cut it in a second and head into round 2. But I last night I was looking at like AWG, and I said this sentence that I don't remember the specifics of, but I said something along the lines of like, I don't think Brontel has a round 2 main, or they wouldn't bring in Brontel for round 2 unless it's BO5, or like for R2 unless it's BO5. And then I looked at the sentence, I'm like, this is completely incomprehensible to anyone who is not as crazy about Call of the Abyss as I am. It is such a separate beast. I remember back when I like first started getting into competitive IDV, like outside of COA, like watching IJL, IVL, and just being so lost, because, you know, everybody knows the players, and you're like, I don't know who Kazuneko is. But yeah, you learn, and I mean that's also something that's kind of the reason why I like doing these videos, because a lot of like IJL and IVL, it's less accessible for NAU because it's not in English. So, you know, I know who Kazuneko is now, but I didn't know who Kazuneko was back in COA 5 when Sun Sisters was first starting out. And like that was really my introduction to, I mean, I've told this story a million times before, but that was really my introduction to competitive IDV was Call of the Abyss 5 and Sun Sisters in like the semifinals. I was not paying attention to Call of the Abyss 5 before the semifinals. I mean, I was, but I wasn't really following it the way that I do now. I wasn't really like comprehending the teams. I was more just like, you know, you watch with friends, you comprehend the game, and then everything else in between is like, okay, we don't have to pay attention to this part. But it becomes more fun once you kind of know what's going on and you're like in on it. But I do hope that for at least one person watching my streams, that this can serve as kind of a gateway, to becoming more familiar and more comfortable with competitive IDV, because it's intimidating to get into. It really is. It's intimidating to like understand what's going on, especially when it's not in English, and you're just kind of following along like with the shapes on the screen, but there's a science behind it. There really is. And it's fun for me to dissect, and I hope that other people understand the way that I dissect it. But anyway, that's enough talking from me. I'm like overcompensating for the fact that I know the stream's gonna be shorter than average by talking too much, so it's gonna end up longer than average. But anyway, going into round 2 here, if I can find my timestamp. Maybe. I gotta figure out a better way to do this. I really do. Like, this is so... It's so inconvenient. But anyway, heading into round 2 here, we've got the global bands up already, with Gardener and Perfumer, and our first 2 bands here from Rise here, we've actually switched off of KKK, and we're going to see Priestess and Mercenary. Now, they can definitely take a couple of different routes here from WL's side. Okay, yeah, they are going to go ahead and ban the Dream Witch. and just take the opera singer here, which is a little bit interesting with that gardener ban. But they do still have coordinator. Okay, we're gonna go with the antiquarian and the seer. That's very aggressive here, especially since those two characters are going to be locked off. In previous, yeah, Ryza's usually AXIZ Wave's first round hunter, and then KKK comes in afterwards. But they did kind of switch this up, which is interesting. I wonder if they swapped because they anticipated that WL wasn't going to ban Opera Singer, but I don't know. Ryza is also a Dream Witch main, so the Dream Witch ban does make sense, but I feel like you're just, like, now you're gonna get an Opera Singer and you've already got two of your counters knocked off the table. So... But okay, yeah, we are gonna go a little bit harder on that Opera Singer counter here. A little bit interesting if we are gonna go with Opera Singer, and I do think that maybe Ryze was kind of trying to keep the Dream Witch on the table by banning Mercenary. Because yeah, you do want to ban Mercenary against a Dream Witch, but you don't really need to ban Dream Witch when you're playing Opera Singer. So letting that first officer out's a little unfortunate here if we are going to be looking at an Opera Singer, but it is what it is. This is not a pretty team comp for an Opera Singer, but it's also not a pretty team comp for a Dream Witch. I feel like maybe best case scenario, something like a Wax Artist in this situation would be good. Just to kind of get in the way of the stuns, get in the way of the Seer as well. Seer is much less scary when it comes to teammate support than on personal support at this point. So if you just don't chase the Seer until endgame, and you already have like the secondary Wax, I feel like Wax Artist would be a good choice. Axe Boy wouldn't be too bad here, as long as you're good with the snipes. But, oh yeah, no, this is a very, very aggressive team comp. Double Stunner here, first officer being the tank that he is, Seer as well, having the teammate support as well as the solo kiting potential. Just a very strong team comp across the board here, and a very aggressive team comp. I do feel like we're gonna see an Opera Singer, and that's going to be determined in about 3 seconds. But we could see something different. And I hope we see something. Okay, no, we are going to see the Opera Singer. Why do I even? We could have played Lizard here, honestly. We really could have played like something crazy with Lizard, like Excitement Lizard or something. I feel like that would have been a lot of fun. But no, we're going to go ahead with safer pick with the Opera Singer. You can pretty much guarantee a tie with the Opera Singer, which is probably what AXIZ is in the market of right now. They don't need to overextend. They are in the lead here. If they end up just getting, you know, draw and then their survivors win, or double draw, or survivor, you know, if they just keep the lead, that's all they really need to do. They don't need to kind of, you know, push it. So playing it safe here is definitely a good idea for AXIZ Wave, and playing it aggressive here is definitely the move for WL. On the other side of things, you know, this team comp is very, very aggressive. They could definitely make this into a 4-man escape situation. You know, you have 4 strong kiters, and all of them can support kites. First officer maybe a little bit less, but yeah, it's very aggressive. It's very fun. Yeah, it's you know, I walk myself into a wall sometimes trying to not anticipate the Opera Singer, but 95% of the time, if Opera Singer is not banned, we are still seeing Opera Singer. So even, you know, despite the nerfs, etc., despite the meta kind of coming out against her, still gonna be Opera Singer. Something that I am curious about, though, and I don't know if this will happen, but I do wonder if we're going to end up adding Puppeteer to the mix before main stage COA. Obviously he's not allowed in qualifiers, but maybe we could get Puppeteer. I do want to see Puppeteer in COA before like we get back into tournament season. I'm very excited to see Puppeteer's competitive play debut. But that's off topic. It's part for Puppeteer. I do think that he would be allowed in COA just because COA is going to start next season. And they usually go from like the previous season, but oh, we're going to see Lorelei here. Nice. I don't know if it's a year that gap though, because like Charles is allowed here. I do think that Cheerleader is also on the table, and obviously Opera Singer here as well. So I do think that like it's not a year rule, but you know, Anyway, heading into things, we're going to see Coordinator actually take this first chase here. It does look like, I think Rise might have actually brought Excitement, but is going to take the shot here. Nicely done here by Pinota, and we are going to turn in about 1 second. I do think, yes, that was Excitement, so nicely done getting that gun on the table before Excitement was off that early game cooldown. And coming in with the Owl as well. We are going to see that faster attack recovery there, though, but it did give Pinota enough time to transition over to the pallet, so very nicely done there. Already this is shaping up to be over 60 seconds containment. We've got 50% through all 3 of the first ciphers, but this kite is a very, very strong setup. We are going to take a hit here, though, but Pinota is going to be able to use that broken window speed boost to transition into the middle here. It does look like we're heading we're heading towards the center. Don't think anyone's in the center. Oh, but a little bit of a miscalculation here from Pinota, getting caught on the wrong side of the pallet there. Nicely done by Rise, and that is going to be our first down. But that is a very, very strong 3-cipher kite, already shaping up to be at least a draw, so nicely played by WL here in the opening stages. I do think I remember Pinota for being a very strong coordinator, so yeah, makes sense. Not a surprise here. I'm gonna see First Officer coming in for this rescue right away, just activating that pocket watch, trying to get as much kind of disorientation on this opera singer as possible. Nicely done there, noticing that the watch was a little bit out of calibration, and just activating it again to get a little bit more distance there. Nice job on the rescue. Is going to take the hit on the way in, but not the worst case in the world. Pinota is going to take a hit as well, but with that tide, that is going to buy quite a bit of time. It looks like Rise actually is going to try and go for the First Officer, but unfortunately it's just not going to be the case. And we're going to see Rise heading over towards where Pinota died, over in the corner here. We're going to actually miss Pinota, heading for the more predictable spot there, but it does look like we are going to catch sight of Coordinator being downed over in the graveyard. So a little bit of a distance away from the rest of the survivors. I do wonder if they might sell here. I feel like it wouldn't be the worst case in the world to sell, but they do want to play a little bit more aggressive, so I don't know if they will. But we'll have to see. It does look like we have, I believe that is the Antiquarian coming in from behind. Nicely done, sneaking around Rise here. And I don't even think Rise knows that Antiquarian is there, heading all the way away from the chair, and that rescue is going to go off, but Rise has just completely changed targets, heading over to where the cipher might be decoding, but there's no one decoding over here. Having to double back, and thankfully, with Max Presence, Opera Singer, those decoys will last a very long time, so Rise is able to just go all the way back here. Nicely done with that stick. Coming in with a stun there. Last cipher is at 50% here, and this is really just showing the coordination and the determination as well of WL. Just not, we'll take the Opera Singer. That is really what they're saying here. We'll take the Opera Singer. Go ahead. Come at us. But heading towards that middle cipher here where Fuku was decoding, that cipher is at 74%. We do have trump card, but no, we're going to actually miss the hit there as well on the Seer. Yeah, Seer is going to go down there. But that excitement has come into play. We haven't switched off it yet, though. No, we have not switched off it yet. Rise kind of taking a little bit of time there, not wanting to switch right away to teleport or abnormal, which does make sense. It is still on cooldown. But yeah, what are you saying and not in good faith? No, this is a very, very fun match so far. Pinota taking the kite once again, but has been healed up to full health here. Unimaru is currently the only survivor still at full health as the Antiquarian, but obviously having one survivor at full health is a very good thing still, and is actually going to come in to support this kite as that cipher is at 80% here. And Rise doubling back once again, heading back towards the First Officer here, as well as the Seer. Just going to catch them off guard here, and is going to be able to down the First Officer. It really is just a game of guarding that last cipher. And it looks like we are going to go ahead and share the First Officer, but I do think Coordinator is going to be healed up in just a second. It's just a battle of these teams that are so on top of things and just so much fun to watch. Beautiful stun there from the Antiquarian, And it doesn't look like they've been able to actually get back to the center cipher here. That 30% cipher over in the center house is being decoded now. Nice flywheel. Are we going to come in with the stun? No. Unimaru is going to just go ahead and take a hit. And first officer will be free. Does not have any items to work with, though. Antiquarian is going to go down. Second final cipher, I should say, is passing 50%. Dungeon is in the center of the map here, where everyone is kind of gathered. And Rise has figured it out, is going to switch targets over onto the Seer once again, just continuing to camp these ciphers so diligently. Heading back over to the Antiquarian, we're going to catch the first officer out here as well. Are we going to be able to get him down? We're getting a little bit overextending, if I am honest. And it does look like Seer might be making it back to that center cipher, or possibly to the corner house, or the center house cipher. But are we putting first officer in basement? That's risky. That's very, very risky here from Rise. I feel like, if anything, we're going to switch to teleport and head back to that center cipher. No, we're actually going to leave here, heading over to Pinota. Doesn't have an item, does have a syringe, but this is very, very close here. That cipher is primed, a little bit slow on the pop, though. And with no items here, Pinota is going to go down. Is first officer going to be able to pull away from the basement enough here? We're going to see a win rate prediction come up on the screen here. Looks like we're actually predicting a 3-man escape. But I feel like it's going to be a draw here, because, yeah, we're going to be able to down that first officer very quickly. I don't think Coordinator is going to be able to get back up in time. That exit gate is open with both the Seer and the Antiquarian at the exit gate. But this is definitely going to be a draw here with that double down over the basement. Nicely done, though, by WL. Really, really just having so much control over the Okay, well, yeah, that was not going to do anything there. But I honestly didn't notice the tram. I did not notice the tram at all. If we had gotten a tram hit there, I feel like we might have actually been able to maybe push for that dungeon escape. But probably not. I'm actually gonna go back. I want to see where the tram was, because I completely missed that. Oh, is it the tram coming through here? It wasn't that close. It wasn't too close for comfort, but it was definitely close. Yeah. Yeah, I do want to look at the stats for that match, because the containment time on this match. We're seeing Seer only had 30 seconds of containment. However, Antiquarian with 89 seconds, First Officer with 116 seconds, and Coordinator with 149 seconds of containment. That is absolutely insane here. And just the amount of control that WL Survivors had over this match. I mean, obviously anticipated it with this comp. I mean, Seer, Antiquarian, First Officer, Coordinator, that is a loaded team comp. And even against an opera singer, you know, giving AXIZ Wave a run for their money, with this matchup, just so strong coming into round 2. That does put us at a tie, though. So 2-2, we're going to continue AXIZ Wave's lead from the first round. But that does kind of even the scales here, especially if WL's Hunter can really bring things around in the second half. That could be very, very good for them. Yeah, we're going to see here that we're at a 2-point difference between the teams. And that is all. You know, that is all of the points that AXIZ Wave has in their favor. They do have the advantage, but it is only by 2 points. So that can definitely change very, very quickly. We're going to head directly into the second half of round 2. Just for this, we are going to see the win conditions pop up here, though, because AXIZ Wave does have the lead. If they're able to get a 3 or a 4-man escape here, they will be taking it right away. So that draw will not mean anything if AXIZ, or if WL Hunter is not also able to get a draw, at least. Ideal situation here would be a 3-man elimination minimum. That would tie the score completely and put us into round 3 at a completely blank slate. Well, no, that would actually put us at a completely blank slate, because they would win. Yes. And that would clear the point deficit for WL. But 4-man elimination, obviously the most thing. And it looks like we might be anticipating a clown. Is it that bad? I'm a little bit scared. But I guess we'll see what happens, because I'm not going to skip it, so we're just gonna keep on going. Oh, interesting. I suppose I will have a lot to say. With that, I'm going to predict a Naiad pick. No, I'm not actually going to predict a Naiad pick, but I do tend to have beef with the way tournament hunters play their Naiads. But anyway, we're going to have Seer, Aeroplanist, Mercenary banned. We're going to have Enchantress and Psychologist also banned as our global bans. And we're going to lock in the Entomologist, the Antiquarian first. So those will not be usable if we end up in round 3. And we're going to lock in our final band here with the Female Dancer and Patient to round us out. Yep. Yeah, I feel like AXIZ Wave knows something that I don't know with that Entomologist pick. I feel like we could be seeing we could be trying to counter a clown here. In that case, I would not want to bring out a clown, because Entomologist can be very, very scary against a clown. And what is Emil doing? Why is he dead? Oh, he got back up again? Is he okay? Anyway, yeah. I keep getting distracted by the interface, but the interface is so cool. It is so, so cool. But we're pinning that. We're pinning that. That's going on the Jumbotron. Anyway, I guess we will see the Hunter pick here. We do have... Okay, oh, this is why. This is why. I get it now. For those of you who are not friends with Rib, Rib is an Ann main, and very, very understandably so, picky about... It's like, when I commentate for a Lizard match, that is how Rib is with Ann. So, I understand everything now. Because if I was an Ann main, I would also be losing my mind, a lot of the time with Anns in tournament. Yeah. Well, getting into this here, I feel like this comp for an Ann is not... it's very give or take, I feel like, because you can definitely outplay and outmaneuver the Antiquarian, as well as the Entomologist. Entomologist is going to be a pain with her assist. And Tuna, I feel like, is the, This is a metaphor that might get me tomatoes thrown at me, but I feel like Tuna is the Palblums of AXIZ Wave. Just very, very support-oriented. This is what we call a metaphor that makes sense to people who only know NAEU. But my apologies. But yeah, like filling a similar role within the team where it's like very assist oriented, crazy priestess portals, crazy entomologist bees, just kind of a jack of all trades within that. That's bad. That's bad. I'm not even that bad. I'm better than that. I'm better than apologies. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I don't even have anything else to say to that. I do wish that they would show us the persona webs here. Ugh. Stop the puns. Yeah. I do wish, I feel like it might be an interface glitch that they're not showing the persona webs here, because they usually do, and I hope that they fix that in future streams. Hello! I love this skin! Oh, we've got the Ulthar accessory. Nice, nice. I love it when they dress up. I respect this Anne for dressing up, okay? Getting into the match, though, it looks like we are going to find the, is that Antiquarian? Yes, that is Antiquarian here in the center house. And it does look like MM's not actually going to see the Antiquarian, is going to continue to walk around. Yeah, it looks like MM's actually very convinced here that somebody is over in that double 11 area. That is not the case, though. We are going to jump back over here. It looks like Tuna in the area is going to catch sight of the Disciple, but not a great first chase here, I feel like. Entomologist can pull a lot of distance here, and especially heading into the graveyard area, not a pretty spot to go. Still has a lot of bees here. Heading for Tuna here, I feel like is just very, very dangerous. We are gonna get a nice skill cancel, but jumping directly into the bees and getting completely stuck in them. That's going to waste quite a bit of time here and allow Tuna to just rotate directly out of the graveyard and heading back in once again. We do want to keep Disciple contained to this area. Tuna doing a great job of that. Yeah, no, I'm understanding. I'm understanding everything here. Nice waiting a little bit on the hit there, for reasons unbeknownst to myself. But, I think just to wait for the cat cooldown to be a little bit less. But anyway, we are going to continue this chase. Antiquarian in the area, though, kind of trying to avoid that stun. Nicely done with that jump to just stay out of the way of the Antiquarian. But we are playing very defensively here. We've already got one Cypher popped. Another one is about to pop here. We've got 2 more Cyphers on the way. So this is about, I would say we're going to end up with a 3.5 Cypher kite here, with the bees especially getting in the way here. Excitement on the bees, but Antiquarian is kind of in the area, has actually moved a little bit away, so that's a little bit unfortunate for Entomologist here. But no, we actually do have Tinnitus popped. It does look like that might be... Okay, that is still Antiquarian, but she's not going to come in for any assistance just yet. That's probably going to come along later. We are going to have First Officer coming in from behind, it looks like. Yeah, coming in from behind here. Doesn't look like MM's actually seen him yet. But is going to see him here. He's going to summon the cats as well. But it looks like Nyan actually coming in from behind for this rescue. Not quite hitting that stun, though. A little bit overshot on the flute. And Tuna nicely done with that stun there. On a very, very fast down. But we're at basically 1 Cypher remaining right now. And that last Cypher, let's just say we're at 1 Cypher remaining and the final Cypher doesn't have any progress on it. So we're at about 80% on that final Cypher, 20% on the final Cypher. So yeah, we're at about 1 Cypher remaining right now. Especially since that 80% Cypher is definitely going to be popped by the time Tuna gets off chair. And we do still have First Officer, who can come in and use that tide. He has taken a hit, so it won't be the easiest, but yeah. It does look like we might actually be selling Tuna here. Yeah, Tuna is going to be sold. We're just going to focus on trying to get that final Cypher primed, which is understandable, especially since First Officer took that hit. It wouldn't have been really safe to go for that basement chair. But with the amount of distance that MM had away from the chair, I feel like we might have been able to go in for it. But, better to save First Officer's tide for endgame here, I feel like, than to go for that rescue. So definitely a good decision here from AXIZ Wave, or at least a justifiable decision. We are going to continue the chase onto Atto here, and Patient does still have 3 hooks, so not the worst position to be in. It does look like we're going for a double stun, but the cat's just missing a little bit here. And just barely getting a hit on the edge of Disciple's hitbox. That was a little bit close there. Final Cypher is at about 60% here. Atto does still have 2 hooks. It is going to use one quite nice. But actually going to hit the wall? A little bit of a misjudgment there from Patient. Not quite getting that hook right where he wanted it to be. But is going to take the stun. And that Cypher is not quite primed just yet. Is going to sit at about 90% here. But we do still have First Officer with Tide Turner. We do have Antiquarian with almost a full stick. So that Cypher is well and primed. We've got First Officer coming in for the rescue. It does look like MM is going to be able to pressure the Cypher from here, but not quite able to get the cat in on Yan. And that hit is going to go through, and that Cypher is going to pop? Question mark? Not just yet. But she's going to change targets. Not quite able to lock off the decoding ability of that Antiquarian. That Cypher is just going to pop here. Oof. Yeah, having a 3-man endgame in this situation, playing a little bit risky around the tram. Not quite going to be able to get the stun either. Okay, we are going to be able to stun here, and Nyan is going to go down. Very, very close here. Neither of those gates have been touched just yet, though. So we can definitely turn this around. We do have excitement up here. has not swapped off just yet, but heading over to Otto, over at the exit gate, we do have about 40% on that gate, and we're heading back to Nyan's chair. It looks like Takako coming in at least a little bit, but it does look like that communication has gone through. That disciple is returning to the chair, but she has caught sight of the first officer. Yes, it does look like she did see him running away. This could turn into maybe a 3-man elimination here, unless, no, it actually looks like we missed. Did we miss the first officer? Or did we just not see him? But getting a little bit extended here. Kind of remotely keeping track of the remaining 2 survivors, but it looks like Otto is basically over the dungeon here, and that gate is nearly open. I don't think, yeah, with Nyan being eliminated here, that dungeon's going to be open in just a second. Is Otto going to be able to catch up? There's going to be a double stun, but with the knockdown, are we going to be able to crawl into the dungeon? Yes, we are. Otto is going to be able to just barely clutch the dungeon there. Absolutely incredible endgame there. I feel like, yeah, no, definitely should have seen the first officer running by, but, you know, phone screens are much smaller than my computer screen that I'm watching this on right now. So I guess a little bit easier. I mean, I probably wouldn't have seen the first officer in that situation, so a little bit unfortunate there, but it is what it is. And that's going to be a second draw. So this second, if I can find my right text box, there we go. Second round is going to be just a clean. Did he have cat on? I couldn't quite see if was able to land the cat, but I did think so. So I don't know. It was just that was a very weird endgame. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was close enough to get the highlight. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't know why he didn't commit to that. A little bit odd. But yeah, just a little bit unfortunate there in that endgame. But a draw is better than a loss. Alright, looking on the bright side here for WL, it doesn't give AXIZ Wave any more points than they already had. So we're still working on that 2-point deficit here. But that can definitely turn around in round 3. I mean, we've seen countless matches here where the points have just shifted in the other team's favor, especially when they're this close. Pretty much if either team, they needed a win to win. AXIZ Wave needed a 3 or a 4-man escape to win, but this round is tied. So basically we're going back to that. So it's still a 2-point lead here. Yeah, the excitement for Bees was a little. It was a little. It felt a little bit like a Duo Hunters excitement, where it's like, I'm just gonna pop excitement as soon as possible because I know I'm gonna get the recovery pill and reduce my cooldowns on it. But considering that this is not Duo Hunters, it was a little questionable, but I feel like excitement in the first place was kind of questionable because there was no coordinator. I mean, the only stunner on the team was Antiquarian, and actually, you know what? I feel like what might have been bringing that excitement for is the scenario in which the Antiquarian and the Entomologist teaming up. Because if you're disarmed and stuck in the bees, there's nothing you can do about it. Unless you bring excitement. Like, you're just locked there until the disarm wears off. And if it's a maximum disarm, then that can be, like, I think, like, 12 seconds, I think, is the maximum disarm. Like, it can get to crazy amounts. So, I get it. But that's such a, like, once-in-a-lifetime situation that, like, we've seen it happen in Call of the Abyss before, or in tournament before. I think it actually happened in this last tournament season between IVL and IJL. Might have been slightly before that. I don't remember when it happened, but I know I've seen it happen, like, in tournament. So, if no one else is nearby and you get the maximum amount of stun and you just, like, start pushing with the entomologist bees, there's nothing you can do. Like, there is nothing you can do. Which is, I'm like going out on a limb to defend it because I can't figure out why else MM would have brought excitement here. I think that teleport would have been the best case scenario, especially with the amount of containment that was happening. I mean, just teleport off the entomologist, honestly. Switching targets there would have been great. Especially just for, culling that cipher progress. I'm a teleport truther kind of across the board, honestly. I bring teleport on almost every situation. Like, sometimes, especially since the buff, I've been bringing a little bit more peepers on Lucino, but like, Hermit, exclusively teleport. Big maps on Lizard, exclusively teleport. I love teleport. See, like, why would you do that? Save the excitement, or don't bring excitement, take the bees. But yeah, we do need to take Nyan off, at least off Antiquarian, because I think Nyan is if I remember correctly, I think Nyan is a good prospector. But I might be misremembering that, and also this was just not the best situation to be in. But we are going to be heading into round 3 with those results from round 2, so I am going to stop getting distracted and talking about things that I want to talk about, and we are going to get back to business here. It looks like, did I skip the map bans on the previous round? I am sorry. But no map bans for round 3, and we're going to head straight into Chinatown. Has to be the most picked third round map. It has to be the most picked third round map. I feel like almost every third round that I see is Chinatown. And it's because it's a good map. It's a good map for hunters. And at this point in the game, you really do need to pick a hunter-sided map. It's a good map for hunters, but it's also a really good map for survivors. There's certain hunters that are very, very good on this map. Like Clown, Breaking Wheel, Wax Artist, Night Watch can be really good on Chinatown now. But yeah. It's also it's a strong enough map for survivors that it's good. To me, I only think Anne needs teleport. I guess I can see Blink sometimes, but on such a big map like Ever Sleeping, she needs yeah, 100%. I bring Blink Anne on like Church, Arms Factory, if I think I'm gonna get pallet spammed against on the rare occasions that I play Anne. But yeah, teleport is just good. Teleport's just good. That's it. There's really nothing else I can say. Teleport is an all-around good skill. Doesn't have too long of a cooldown. It gets you moving, which is kind of the biggest thing. Survivors will run away. And this is, this is kind of forgiveness, I think, for the bans of the previous rounds here. We're going to lock out the Priestess, and we're going to lock out Aeroplanist first here as well from MM, and we're going to see the Seer and the Dancer coming into play. Dancer is so strong on well, she's strong on Ever Sleeping, but she's also very strong on Chinatown. There's so many areas that you can set up the boxes, a lot of pallets. We're going to see First Officer once again, 3 for 3, I think, on the First Officer matches, or maybe 4 for 4, I don't actually remember. But a lot of First Officer here. Get used to it. Every time a mercenary is banned, a First Officer grows her wings. Don't know why I just she-heard Jose. Sorry. But, yeah, I would expect, First Officer COA champion skin at this point. He doesn't have a lot of skins, or he has almost no skins, really. And he's only been increasing in play. So I would really expect, like, it's gonna be, you know what? Hard predictions right now, it's gonna be either First Officer or Aeroplanist. 100%. If they pick another survivor, I don't know. I will put the maximum amount of sauce into my Bulldog the next time I make it, and eat it on stream. Okay? This is in law. All right? If the COA champion skin is not First Officer or Aeroplanist, I will die to extreme amounts of spice consumption. If you have never had Bulldog, it's a Korean, like, instant-ish noodles brand that is known for being just insanely spicy. And okay, yeah, here, okay, we are going to bring out that wax artist. Not unexpected here. I did get distracted on my hunter predictions, so sorry. But yeah, wax artist definitely not a surprising choice here. Wax artist is very, very good on Chinatown. Just a lot of straight lines. Just a lot of straight lines. Rib is just giving us spoilers here today. We've got the backseat commentator in the chat, telling us what's going to happen before it happens. I do not mind, though. This is not a bad thing. I appreciate any and all commentary, in addition to my own. It helps. But yeah, what are we even explaining? What's that part? Oh yeah, no, they're very passive, I think. They're very passive and they tend to miss opportunities, I think, especially. I do want to see what their secondary trait is coming into this because I feel like Teleport is probably the best choice. Maybe Blink trump card. If it's Excitement, though, you can't see, but I'm like waving my hand like no. But okay. I understand this spawn point. We're trying to lock off the Cypher in the hotel so that Dancer can't set up there. Prospector first chase, though, is not great. Right now, we're setting up for either... Well, Prospector is going to be... First Officer's also... Well, actually, no. We could go for First Officer here. Wax Artist does counter First Officer, at least a little bit. You can keep track of the First Officer's real location with the Wax fairly easily. Like, kind of once you catch him, you can keep track of him. But... It's not a hard counter, I would say, but I feel like Wax Artist is a strong hunter against First Officer, especially in the chase category. A little bit as well in the rescuer category, but I feel like he's about the same across the board in terms of rescue stuffing capability. But in terms of First Officer's chase, I feel like we could definitely go to First Officer first chase here with the Wax Artist. Because Wax Artist can just freeze First Officer out of the watch. So, interested to see how this shapes up. Because, yeah. Anyway, looks like we are carrying Blink. I'm going to say that's Blink, I think. And yeah, heading into this, looks like we're actually going to cross the map over here and head towards... Are we going to head towards the Seer? No, it looks like we're going to possibly... No, we're not going to commit to the Prospector either. First Officer is hiding right by that tree, and we have completely bypassed him. We're going to head right over to the Seer. As a very, very good rotation here from AXIZ Wave. But, oh no, we're actually, this is it. We are getting rotated to absolute hell and back, and it looks like we might actually end up on Tuna again, which would be not very fun. Yeah, okay. I'm starting to get the picture of why we are not fans of MM's hunting style. We're going to lock off that Cypher here, but once again, switching targets. We haven't committed to a target yet, and we are over a minute into the match. This is not a good situation. They should have... I feel like, if anything, they should have kept... oh my god. I'm blanking on the Hermit Hunter's name, but it was like Waro1, I think. They should have kept that Hunter on the field. This feels WL, and I'm gonna regret saying this. Watanuki? I keep forgetting that the XXX Holic crossovers are now on the tournament server, and this is going to continue to scare me for the rest of COA season, because it's the first crossover that I've actually been like a fan of. I'm not usually a fan of, I'm like a casual fan of most of the crossovers, not most of the crossovers. I either don't know what they are, or it's Death Note. But yeah, please forgive my live Watanuki reaction, and please expect more of them. We're going to continue the chase. We're already at about 3 Cypher completion, and we're at 2 minutes into the match here, a little bit over. Seer has used the Owl, but is just going to be able to continue this containment for quite some time. We're definitely getting a good amount of wax here, but oh, beautiful juke there from Nyan, but unfortunately is just going to go down here. But that is a 2 Cypher containment, and basement is not here. That's basically the safest thing here is the fact that basement's not here. We're also going to get shared pretty close to the dungeon, it looks like. So that is going to possibly alert MM to the dungeon location unless MM doesn't look, which is very possible. But we're about to be at 2 ciphers remaining here. Those last 2 ciphers, though, don't have any progress on them, so they are going to have to make that up. So it's a slightly slower cipher progress at this point in the game, but it's still, you know, it's still very good cipher progress. We're going to get... Ooh, okay, no, we missed the hit there. Unfortunately, Takako looks like just took the opportunity to go, did not hit the chair. Who clipped something? Now I'm scared. Yeah. Continuing the chase over onto Nyan. We haven't continued that final cipher yet. We've got 1 cipher at around 30. Okay, we're actually going to open up a new cipher. Okay, yeah, no, that does make sense if that was the hotel cipher. But yeah, this is not looking too hot for WL right now. And yeah, getting that rescue in on Nyan once again, and Otto coming in with the with the prospector. It was Otto who I was remembering being the good prospector, not Nyan. But Nyan clearly redeeming after the antiquarian here on the seer. Nice pallets done, and a little bit dangerous as well. We're at 2 stars remaining. Beautiful job on that magnet stun as well. Otto just being so daring here, getting right into MM's face. That really is just the boldness of these pro teams. They will not leave you alone. And MM's kind of just getting put through the ringer here. We're at 65% on that final cipher. And Nyan, with Otto in tow, is just going to continue this kite. We have another owl as well, but it looks like we're actually going to switch targets over to Otto, unless we could possibly come in for this for the Seer's support here, especially since the target's been completely changed. But it looks like we might actually be saving that for endgame, and yes, that is going to be the cipher pop here. Otto, right back up. We do have the Seer Owl in play, and I would definitely expect that to come through sooner than later. But it does look like Otto has another stun. Stuns against Wax Artists are a little bit risky, but there is the Owl here, but unfortunately just not going to do anything with that Hot Wax switch. Teleport coming into play, and all the survivors are just going to scatter away from the gate. That gate is not close to being open just yet, but does have 31% on it. I'm not even going to bother to break those boxes. Definitely understandable. It would be a waste of time. However, a little bit risky to leave a fast box at the gate that they're trying to open. But oh, it is actually waxed off right now, so they can't actually open it. Nicely done there by to wax off the gate. But back onto the Seer here, missing that hit, but unfortunately a little bit of mind games there around that pallet. Nyan is going to take the hit, getting caught on the wrong side of the pallet. That gate is open, though. This is going to be minimum a 3-man escape here. I do think Nyan is dead on chair, so that is going to be a 3-man escape confirmed. Very nicely done here from AXIZ Wave. I'm going to mark that down in the scorecard here. We've got another 3-1. And I do think, yeah, we are going to, because that wasn't a 4-man elimination, or a 4-man escape, I guess, we are going to continue into the second half of round 3, because if WL survivors are somehow able to 4-man escape, then WL will win. It would be kind of crazy. Ooh, wait, would they win, or would it be tied? I actually think that might tie it. Let me think for it. Well, actually, here they should show us the win conditions in a moment. So let's see. I think it's that. Is this win conditions? Okay, so it looks like, okay, 4-man escape, WL is gonna win. Any other result here will result in AXIZ Wave winning. So if WL does not get a 4-man escape, they will lose. So yeah. Yeah, no, MM is just very, very scared of committing to a target, which, like, I understand. I have definitely played matches like this before where I do not commit to a target and I pay for it dearly, but I am also not a pro hunter. And it looks like KKK is actually going to switch back in here for the third round. So if Hermit isn't banned, we could see a third round Hermit. But I would definitely expect Hermit to be banned here because it is round 3. WL survivors have 2 Hunter bans to take care of. So that's going to be Opera Singer and Hermit immediately. We could see Bonbon, though. Actually, no, because KKK is a Hermit main, but KKK is originally a Bonbon main. So I feel like maybe WL could be a little crazy here and just take... Well, they need a 4-man escape. I think in terms of needing a 4-man escape, Hermit might actually be their best bet. Because if they play it as aggressively as they played the round 2 match, they could possibly 4-man against a Hermit, I think. I really do think so. That might be their safest option. Because right now, if we're looking at 3 Hunters on the table, okay? Obviously, there could be a 4th, there could be a 5th. I think KKK actually has a pretty crazy Axe Boy, if I'm vaguely remembering this. I might be totally wrong on that. But I think I remember KKK playing Axe Boy. Which is another Hunter that's good on Chinatown. So we have a lot of options here. Out of who I think WL should ban, I think Opera Singer and Bonbon, honestly. Maybe Hermit if they're worried about a Hermit, because it might just be their personal preference that they don't want to play against a Hermit. But I feel like they could survive with the Hermit on the table. This is definitely not just me wanting to see KKK play Hermit. It is a little bit. But yeah, no, there were a lot of weird camera angles on MM's movement. I could honestly just go through and, like, scour it and point out everything that I had issue with, but I'm not going to do that. That is not something that I'm interested in doing. But, yeah. Anyway, heading into round 3 here, while I keep talking my life away. Kind of, I mean, to be fair, like... The way to survive as a streamer is by never shutting up. Okay, so looks like we're going to ban the Priestess and the Entomologist here. So, you know, what Entomologist ban says is Clown. I don't remember if KKK has a Clown, but that would honestly be very exciting. To see a Clown on Chinatown. It's not something that we can see every day. Okay, they're going to ban Opera Singer and Soul Weaver? You know what? I think we have actually seen KKK play Soul Weaver on this map specifically, and they're going to bring out the Enchantress here. They're going to counter comp the... Hello, Mercenary. Please get off the floor. They're going to counter comp... Oh! Not locking out the Barmaid just yet. We might be looking at Bonbon. Honestly. That's both. I don't know what you mean, actually. The gay Mary? I have no idea what that means. But our first cheerleader of Call of the Abyss 7 has arrived on the field. I'm so, like, distracted with what you mean by that. But, yeah. Anyway. I looked away for like 2 seconds. I see. I don't watch a lot of drag. So, yeah. Sorry, I look away for 5 seconds and Kevin is on my screen now. Not something that I expected. Really not something that I expected. But, yeah. This would be, I believe, post-rework Kevin, which I've been interested to see in tournament. So, yeah. Okay, and we're gonna head out with another Wax Artist here. I definitely, you know, I understand it. Wax Artist is not, or not Wax Artist, Hermit is not always the best option, especially if you are looking at, I feel like Cheerleader is not a big problem. Cowboy can be, Mercenary, not really, honestly. I mean, I feel like this comp would have been fine for a Hermit, but I feel like also catching the survivors off guard is part of the game. And that's, it is what it is. But heading into the match here, I mean, to be fair, AXIZ Wave only needs 1-man escape, or 1-man elimination, and they win. So playing Wax Artist here, very safe. Wax Artist is very good on this map. Wax Artist is, it's Wax Artist. You can very easily get a 1-man elimination here. Even with, I feel like, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, exactly. I have beef with this comp against Wax Artist specifically because you can't harass. I don't know how Kevin's situation works against Wax Artist because it's not technically a stun. So I don't know if like the wax glob would come into play. But yeah, it's too support heavy. That's exactly it. It's very support heavy to the point where 3 out of 4 of the honestly, in a weird way, it's a very COA 4 team comp. Because 3 out of 4 of these survivors have decoding debuffs, and Enchantress, Enchantress is going to be supporting. So Mercenary, my prediction for this match is that Mercenary is going to have most of the decoding. Full stop. Full stop. Mercenary is going to have most of the decoding. If they're able to get to that final cipher, because it's going to be very easy to overextend on the survivor side here, with this comp, and yeah, I mean, Cheerleader, I feel like Cheerleader was at a disadvantage either way. I honestly feel like they shouldn't have even gone with Cheerleader, if I'm being so real, because if your options are like 85% chance you're gonna get a stun hunter, either Hermit or Wax Artist, or, maybe Anne, etc. If you think you're gonna get a stun hunter, don't play Cheerleader, because she counters every hunter that is not a stun hunter. And it does look like we're actually going to rotate directly into her. Pinota is a good kiter, though. And we've seen Pinota do very, very good kites. So I feel like this may be a little bit dangerous for KKK, but also it is a Cheerleader against a Wax Artist, and in this case, you can freeze the Cheerleader out of her dash. We are going to see that first cheer come in. We've got no cheers remaining, or was that actually 2, I wonder? But yeah, no cheers remaining here. We've got that 30-second cooldown enacted, with the slow movement for just a second there, and more wax coming into play. Yeah, it was good to use those 2 boosts to get away, but right now we're in kind of a rock and a hard place here. Nicely done locking off that pallet as well. Pinota just forced to move more, which, gaining more distance against Wax Artist in an open area just invites more wax. And we're seeing here just how good this map is for Wax Artist. There's pretty much nowhere for Pinota to go, especially with that insolence coming into play here and the wax bomb coming out. Yeah, absolutely nothing Pinota could do without any dashes to work with. Cheerleader, I feel like, really was not the vibe in this match, because there's just nothing you can do. There's really nothing you can do against a Wax Artist. There's nothing you can do against a Hermit either, and if you're playing expecting a Hermit, that's not good. It's just not gonna work out for you. But yeah. Not a great situation here for WL, especially since they need a 4-man escape. And they could turn this into a 4-man escape, maybe. But three out of 4 survivors have taken damage here. We've got that double hit onto Pinota already. Pinota was rescued before half, but I feel like Cheerleader as well was just not a good first chase here. I mean, not a good chase at all for Cheerleader and for the survivors, but specifically in terms of her strongest utilization during this match would have been if she was able to support. And because she's not able to support, she is functionally kind of useless. And especially, like, we're seeing here, this is exactly what happens when you overextend with support. This is just it. We're seeing Yunomaru got frozen there as well, so not able to come in with Cowboy support. Cheerleader is going to see her second chair here. Cowboy can still get this rescue. With Enchantress on the floor as well, we can self-heal here, use that 3-stack. Kakaka does not have Excitement, does have Teleport here, so will be a little bit vulnerable to that stun when Fuku comes in to use it, but it's still... This is a very risky situation for the survivors to be in. Nicely done on that rescue, but still getting that 50% wax kind of baseline here on the survivors. We're going to hot wax the Cowboy there. Does look like Cheerleader was able to get quite a bit of distance here, but we're still at 3 ciphers remaining, and I do think Mercenary is kind of the only person decoding here. We've got Cowboy did actually finish a cipher. Mercenary also finished a cipher, but we have three ciphers started. But just not really enough progress on any of them. We're almost at 2 ciphers, maybe, if they're able to get back to that 71% cipher, but it's just not going to be easy for them. It's really not. With Cheerleader on this last chair as well, they really do need a cipher prime, but no, they're actually going to start a new cipher here away from the action, which does make sense, but yeah, no, just not a great situation to be in. But missing that first hit there, unfortunately, Pinocha not able to get that pallet stun, but this is basically a guaranteed 1-man elimination, right now. But Cowboy coming in with the harassment, but, okay, so I don't think it actually registers as a stun, which is cool. However, Cowboy unfortunately takes double damage here, or, what even happened there? Did they... Hold on. Did they take out the... Wait, no, I remember this now. I think... Hold on. Okay, so yeah, because Pinocha was already downed, like, Kevin just dies. That's it. Yep, that's exactly what happened. He can't tank the hit because there is no hit to tank, for the cheerleaders. That is going to be our 1-man elimination here. And it's not nerfs, it's buffs, I'm telling you. It's just that no one knows how... He has to be played more like Wildling now. He really does. He's basically like if Wildling and Little Girl merged, I think. But yeah, no, this comp, yeah, it's the wrong comp for the rework, because it's just... This whole comp was just very much doomed from the start, because you have Cheerleader who can't do anything against Freeze Hunters. You have Wax Artist who automatically counters all of the stunners. But yeah, no, I really do think, like, if people are still thinking of playing Cowboy the way you would normally play Cowboy, and not playing Cowboy like you would play a Wildling, with a little more caution, a little bit, like, less guaranteeing to get that, the harassment on. It's very risky. But yeah, with all the survivors here, they haven't even had the chance to regroup. They could maybe be crazy here, and okay, no, Mercenary has elbow padded into the basement. Yeah, that was just kind of a series of really unfortunate events. But yeah, this match is, well, if it wasn't over already, it's a little bit GG's from here. So, yeah, the Enchantress stun literally did, because of the wax. Yeah, okay, we are gonna see that surrender come through. There is no chance at bringing this back, and AXIZ Wave is going to win. So very nicely done there, from AXIZ Wave. But yeah, that's gonna be it for that match. We do have one match coming up, but I am going to take a slight break so that I don't die. I will be back in about, I'm gonna say 3 minutes. I'll set the timer for, and we will be back to business. So don't go anywhere, or do go anywhere. Go to the bathroom, get a drink of water. That's what I'm gonna do. And I will be back. So I will see you guys in 3 minutes. Okay, we're back. Sorry, that was probably much longer than I meant it to be. But some exciting news. You may be able to see me on my Mellow tournament again, at some point in the future. I'm still gonna try and keep up with the, COA streams just because I want to do that for myself. But if I end up having free time, you might see me on there. So, yeah, just got that set up, so, that's why it took a little bit longer, because I was, answering messages and such. But yeah, I will like post links to that on my Twitter if it happens. But I had so much fun commentating for them before. I'm glad that I will hopefully get to do it again. Yeah, but updates on that will come as they come. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyway, yeah, literally. Well. Pretty much, that's what happened. But yeah, anyway, back in place, and we are going to continue here. We're going to see MY versus AWG. I really like MY's logo. It's very nice. I like the heart. Yeah, AWG, we are obviously very familiar with, or at least I am very familiar with them because I absolutely love their Survivor lineup. And I have with them. Anyway, looking at MY here, we've got 2 geishas. So it looks like they actually have 3 hunters here, which is not common at all. They have 3 hunters and 4 survivors, it looks like. I do remember Subachi, I think, from the IVT Japan, I think. Yeah, but anyway, we're going to look at Kotami here. Bonbon main? Possibly 70% win rate, not bad. 4 elimination rate, 46%, very good. We're looking at about average on a draw, a little bit edging towards that 3-man elimination. You see why I was confused about the names? Which ones? Oh, yes. Yes. I see that now. Yeah, we've got cheerleader coming up here. Yeah, I feel like the, oh my god, there are? I didn't even see that. That is very confusing. But, and because I did see Lim H, on MY. But, yeah, we are, yeah, the 56% win rate, 50% escape rate. I feel like these are rank stats, and not tournament stats, so they're a little bit more skewed, where you see the pro teams will have a little bit lower, statistics just because, like, you know, tournament. But, and we're going to see an aeroplanist coming in here. Not surprising at all. Yeah, once again, like, very much, expecting a lot of aeroplanists and a lot of aeroplanist bans. I think that's the most interesting thing to me, is that aeroplanist has been getting continually banned. It's not something that I really expected, but I get it. You know, it's kind of the same thing as patient getting banned a lot in the past. We're seeing more patient and more mercenary because aeroplanist just keeps getting banned, and it makes sense because he is the one of the strongest distance pullers in the game, and just really, really good. I would say a better patient, honestly. Aeroplanist is a better patient. More difficult to utilize, but more consistently larger distances. Is, yeah. But Namako, yeah, that's gonna be very confusing, coming into this. But yeah, forward main here, 48% win rate. And Lim H, we've got the mercenary, so 51% win rate. Yeah, win rates on MY tend to be a little bit in the 50% range, with the 50% escape as well. Pretty good. Pretty good here. I do wonder if are we gonna look at all of the hunters, or are we just gonna look at the first one? Because they have 3 hunters, which is a lot of danger, I feel like, for other teams. If they're able to get all 3 of those hunters on the field, great. But I almost feel like they might have too many hunters in that same vein. I need to fix my scorecard. My god. How long were you guys gonna let me sit with that? AWG versus MY. And that is a lowercase y. I did not typo it. We're going to take the time to fix the score numbers. If anyone has any ideas on how to do this in a more convenient way, please, for the love of God, submit them to me. Please. Yeah, we're gonna look at Namiko versus Namako here. With that, Hunter and Survivor lineup. It does look like Yukakina is actually using the Wax Artist here as that, showroom. I am distracted because I am replacing all of these numbers with zeros. But yeah, we're going to see Brontel coming up here with that 55% beautiful win rate, 33% for escape rate, or for elimination rate, my god, which is, you know, pretty good for an opera singer here. Especially since, like, we're averaging around a draw a little bit lower, than the MY Hunter, but once again, this is kind of tournament rate, rather than, you know. Are we going to see Yukakina, though? Are we actually not going to look at Yukakina's stats here if Brontel is going to be our round 1 Hunter? I think that might be the case, because we only look at the round 1 stats, which is kind of sad, honestly. Yeah, we're just going to go straight into Namiko here with that 13.5% win rate, but 40.4% escape rate. Again, this is tournament. This is because AWG, you know, was going up against Zeta, was going up against Scars, was going up against FL, you know, you're going up against all of these crazy ass teams with crazy ass hunters, you're gonna end up with that 13.5% win rate. That's just gonna happen. But yeah, Namiko, one of the craziest, one of the craziest prospectors, I think, ever, I would say. But yeah, going into A's, we've got that rescuer main here. Again, that 13.5%. Once again, that's probably gonna be consistent around the whole team because they rank together, obviously. Or they play together if this is tournament win rate. Again, I really want to know where they get these stats from, because I'm like 99% sure that, like, this is tournament stats. So like their IJL, IVL, not IVL, but like IJL, etc. Like that win rate, I think, is what it is. I don't think it's their rank win rate. It might be, but okay. So we're gonna see Banban actually has 14% win rate, with the psychologist, going to skip a little bit through this. I do like looking at the player stats, but sometimes you can look at them for too long. And here is everyone's favorite Kairu. We've got that, again, that 13.5% win rate. But if you have not seen AWG play before, they have insanely strong survivors. Kairu is one of the best kiters that I've ever seen. Insane female dancer. Dangerous female dancer at that. And yeah, with the teammate support that's provided from Namiko, on the prospector, or just on a harasser in general, AWG has such a strong survivor team. I need them to get a new round 2 hunter. This is something that we will see again. This is something that if you've watched me before, you have seen before. This is something that if you've talked to me for more than 5 seconds about AWG, you've heard me complain about Yukakina. But we'll get to that later. Because Yukakina is not going to be playing first. It's going to be Brontel playing first here with the opera singer, 99% chance. So I don't have to think about Yukakina yet. For now. But getting into things here, it looks like we're going to ban... Is that banning Moonlit River Park? Did they forget to put, like, the sign on it? So it's either going to be Moonlit River or Church. I'm gonna guess. Just don't spill it. Just drink it. But yeah, we've got, I think Red Church is gonna be the map here. Okay, yeah, Moonlit River Park's a little bit grayed out. They forgot to put, like, the, like, cross out over it, so I got a little confused. But yeah, we are gonna be going on Red Church, which, again, you know, this is what I was saying the last time. I think we're gonna see more Red Church instead of Moonlit River Park on the first round, because you want a map that's actually good for your opera singer, because she's still a very strong hunter, but with less survivor bans in round 1, she's at a little bit of a disadvantage, because basically anything that you ban in round 1, there's 3 other counters. And, you know, obviously you have the advantage of not having any hunter bans in the same breath, but against, you know, when you're basically guaranteed a round 1 Opera Singer, it's a lot more easy to counter comp that. We're going to see a round 1 Seer, very, very bold here. As well as that Gardener coming out here once again. Good on Bronto, though, to ban the Antiquarian and the Coordinator first. Those are very common. Well, Antiquarian, I would say a little bit less common of a first choice here, but Coordinator and Gardener is kind of a very consistent Opera Singer round 1 first 2 picks. You can survive with them off the table. And they're very, very strong. And we're going to see that Aeroplane is finally let out of jail here, coming in for that first round. And also recyclable on the off chance that Aeroplanist isn't banned. But yeah, we will be seeing the Aeroplanist again. Jupi is obviously very happy about this. This was a pick for Jupi, and we're going to see Mercenary rounding out the lineup. We've got, if they don't match Truth and Inference skins here, I will be very disappointed. But they have the opportunity and they should take it, in my opinion. But they could do that as well, but I'm not going to acknowledge it. But yeah, we did ban the first officer though. Finally, we yeah, finally we've got Charles, we've got Aeroplanist out on the field finally. And my God, he really is standing like that, huh? I love Charles. One of these days I will finally put together an Aeroplanist cosplay and I will live in peace. But I haven't done that yet. But yeah, everyone is winning when Aeroplanist gets picked except for the Hunter. And yep, we are going to get that Opera Singer locked in. But honestly, this is a very good bans here from Brontal. We've got Antiquarian off the table, Coordinator off the table right away. Not able to lock out either of those as our first 2 picks. We've got the Dancer band as well as the First Officer. I think First Officer is the most effective ban of this because, you know, you have the Mercenary. Mercenary is a lot weaker against an Opera Singer, especially post-nerf. So, I'm glad to see the Mercenary not be banned, is what I'm trying to say. But heading into the match here, it looks like we are going to try and set up for that Gardener being the first chase over at the Shack. We've got Mercenary out in the walls here. Mercenary could definitely be our first chase here, though. On the off chance that Bronto doesn't complete the plus, never mind. But Seer, not a terrible first chase, honestly. But I feel like chasing someone else, possibly getting across the map to the Mercenary, more likely going to be the Gardener, maybe Aeroplanist, but I would say no. I feel like, that's a good one. I feel like Aeroplanist, Bronto might go for Aeroplanist first just to mind game and force out one jetpack early on. And then switch targets to the Mercenary, possibly Seer, possibly Gardener. Gardener's not going to be a convenient first chase. I would probably avoid the Gardener first chase here, especially since we are an Opera Singer. Presence is not like a make or break deal. And it wouldn't it wouldn't hurt to get the extra presence off bubble, but it definitely wouldn't help in getting a fast down. Even with the bans, this is still a very strong comp. We still have the Seer on support. Mercenary is weak against Opera Singer, but is still a very strong tank in his own regard. You just kind of have to play him a little bit more like a psychologist, rather than a mercenary. With Gardener, obviously, you know, recyclable tank, always fun. And Aeroplanist. There's a reason he's been banned in almost every single match until this point. So allowing the Aeroplanist out can definitely be good for MY and bad for Brontal here. But getting right into it, does look like we're heading towards, at least in the direction of the... Ooh, a little bit of rotation here. It looks like we are looking at Watanuki there for the Seer. Things are in store, but our first jetpack is going to come out here from the Aeroplanist. I lost his name for a second there. Yeah, no, genuinely. It's not that the operas have gotten faster, it's that we're seeing opera singers who are really, really good. And Brontal is insane with opera singer, and this is why I think that we should keep Brontal one round at a time. Ooh, a beautiful owl there. Nicely done. I don't even want to know the points on that. But, oh, and a nice pushback there as well from the hover. Beautifully done. Aeroplanist really working on this 3 Cypher kite here. The blink coming into play, though, and we're going to get our first hit, but needing the blink to get the first hit, Not great. We are at half presence though because of the owl, but getting that first hit in here, we've used our final jetpack, and we are just gonna rock height. Ramiko is going to go down here, but what a containment there. Nicely done. And we're gonna see our first chair, but that's basically a 3 cipher kite. You know, a little bit under, not the like greatest situation in the world to be in. It does actually look like this team has taken a little bit of a creative approach to their persona webs as well, and by I don't mean creative in the passive aggressive way, I mean that in a good way. But neither the Gardener nor the Aeroplanist have borrowed time here. They both have Tide Turner and Broken Windows. So I enjoy seeing these builds come out when Opera Singer comes out. It's very fun. I do kind of miss when China was just going crazy and going like 0 borrowed time, like 1 borrowed time, and then the rest of the team having full like flywheel, broken windows Tide, like those personas. I like when they get bold with it, but yeah, anyway, not quite able to get that second hit in on the Gardener. We're going to double back over to the Aeroplanist. Nice hiding spot, almost in that just inside the locker, but obviously down, still able to be picked up, and is going to see his second chair. We've got 3 ciphers decoded here. We are not matching XXX Call crossovers. We've got B-Duck here on the Mercenary, which is a little bit disappointing, honestly. If you're going to do something where you can match, you should match. That is my philosophy. But we're going to just get a hit in on the Mercenary. This is actually very weird that Lim H is playing Mercenary, because that is also Lim from AXIZ Waves main. So yeah, that is very disorienting. For the record, Lim is still on AXIZ Wave, but that is very confusing. Because she's coaching. I don't think she's playing as much. I think she's coaching majority. So anyway, Mercenary is down here, but Aeroplanist is still up and kicking. He is he on no, yeah, he is on last chair here, so he is going to go down or be sent back to the manor very shortly. Trying to play around here and actually picking up the Mercenary instead. We are going to drop the Mercenary and head for the Aeroplanist instead. But that was a little bit of a nice team coordination there to try and keep the Aeroplanist alive a little bit longer. Honestly, not bad. And we're going to actually teleport over to the final cipher here. Namako has no owl yet, but still at full health for now. But they do need to rotate back to that cipher. That cipher's at 85%. Very well done here by Brontel. It looks like Gardner's actually heading over towards the Mercenary, going to heal up instead of trying to head for that cipher, which honestly, if you're on that side of the map, yeah, you kind of can't go back to that cipher. But heading all the way back here, and it really does not look like Opera Singer has been nerfed at all from Brontel's perspective, even though she has. This is post-nerf Opera Singer being played as pre-nerf Opera Singer, and now you go, oh, the nerf was not too much, actually. This nerf was entirely, like, substantiated, because can you imagine at this point in the game, the reason why we're seeing Opera Singers get better despite the nerf is because, you know, the nerf is nothing. The nerf was just her overall speed, but she still has no cooldowns. So she can still just dash forever, but just slightly slower, but it's still an infinite dash. We're going to have double down situation here with Mercenary and Seer. That cipher is nearly primed, but they're not going to quite be able to get it popped in time. Brontel is going to have both of these chairs done, and Gardner doesn't have borrowed time. So we're kind of in a rock and a hard place here. At this point in the match, I feel like Shiro's only option is to try and find dungeon. You can try and go for a backdoor rescue here, but it's just not... I don't know. Dungeon's also there. That's not good. This is the worst possible... Dungeon spawns rigged towards AWG in this situation. Just having that dungeon over at where the cipher was being primed, aka right next to where Seer was chaired, that's just not good. Or Mercenary and Seer were both chaired over there. But wow, yeah. No, this is just a beautiful, beautiful match here. from Brontel. He does have to look out though, and find the Gardener sooner than later, because that dungeon is going to be open. And Gardener does still have shield, can definitely bubble her way to the dungeon, but looks like we have caught sight of her trail, going to double back here towards the dungeon, and able to catch her off guard before that bubble is even able to have a chance. And that's going to be a beautiful textbook 4-man elimination here for Brontel in the first round. What a match to play, you know, and that was just so, from the outset there, not 54 points, that's going to be 5. But just from the outset, with the bans lining up the way that they did, the spawns, the rotation, the Aeroplanist Kite was good. But that endgame teleport, getting the double down on the Mercenary, that really just showed why Mercenary struggles against Opera Singer. Brontel does deserve 54 points, honestly. Yeah, no, that's the thing. MY played that beautifully. The Aeroplanist initial kite, insane. The support, insane. But just that one teleport, if Brontel didn't have teleport at that point in time, that would have been a draw. And that keeps happening. You know, that happened in the previous match as well. It would have been a draw if the Hunter had a teleport. And I feel like that really is just the marker between Hunters that have played, or Hunters that are like contracted professionals, versus Hunters that are non-professional, that are doing it, you know, as a hobby for fun. Having that amount of game sense to know when to teleport in that endgame is just insane. Insane. And that's something that you really only get the sense for when you've done this kind of competitive hunting. Brontel's movements there, do you know how, like, the amount of time that Brontel has probably spent, like, in custom mode, just running around as Opera Singer, trying, like, figuring out routes, the smoothest way possible, even post-nerf, like, moving as if she hasn't been nerfed. Hi, Michi! But yeah, no, exactly. The non-professional Hunters are a little bit more cautious, trying to find, you know, the best possible chase target. We saw that was the reason for so much waffling there from MM in the previous matches, was because, like, MM was just less confident, and that's it. Just a lack of confidence, you know, trying to kind of out-rotate a pro team rotating you. Axis Wave rotation is crazy. And trying to out-rotate that and find your intended target, it's not gonna happen. You just have to commit to somebody, or bring teleport, and then you can commit to whoever you want to if you bring Quenching Effect. Whisper. That's what I do. But, yeah, just such smooth gameplay. And you know, AWG could be on the level of Zeta, on the level of Scars, if they had a better second round Hunter. They really could. They really could do it. Please. Please. I need them to do it. But yeah, we are going to head into the second round. If I can find the right timestamp. Once again, if anyone has suggestions on how to do this timestamp thing without, like, having to really precisely move my trackpad around the YouTube board, please, by all means, suggestions. Sprinter actually is in talks, I think, once, like, I think probably after this COA, I think Sprinter might end up, he's been in talks with China teams, I think. It might be TE, I think, was rumored. That he might be, like, considering going towards, but interesting. Yeah, it was either TE or YG. I think it might have actually been YG. I got my new teams with cool logos mixed up. But, yeah, it was one of those. Because TE has Anyi, and I don't think Anyi would be moving around unless Anyi got bought, which is entirely possible. But I feel like YG might be more likely. I will also be very sad to see Before You Go, but that's, yeah, okay. We had the same team in mind, and I forgot the name of it, so I was just running off you, but it's the pink one. But yeah, lining up here, we've got Seer, Antiquarian, and Mercenary as our bands. In response, we've got the Gardener, Acrobat, and Forward. They did pick up green. I don't know if Before You will be going anywhere as opposed to reshaping, but I feel like they have to rename once Schmitty, if Schmitty and Sprinter both leave, like I feel like they would probably, anyway. I mean, that is what happens when Before You conscripts people, is that they just get benched. So I do hope. Did they trade? I don't think they traded anybody for green, but yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I suppose we'll probably find out in NAU qualifiers kind of deal with what's going on, but Aaron was their coach though. I don't think they would have like traded their coach for a player. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out if they let. Oh, okay. Hey guys, what year is it? What year is it? Dreamwitch? Round one? Round one Dreamwitch? Against this comp too? Like, Kotami. Let's talk about this for a second. There is a Gardener. There is an Acrobat. There is Kairu on the female dancer, and you're going to play Dreamwitch? Please don't do that to yourself. Unless Kotami is completely insane, that could always happen. But don't do that to yourself. No. Oh. I am very afraid for this match. I am very, very afraid for this match. I mean, any match where Dancer is let onto AWG is a match that scares me for the opposing team because of how crazy Kairu is. But yeah. Well, no, I mean, it is definitely a Yippee to see Dreamwitch and not Opera Singer. Praying that it's not, Tomie, personally. But yeah, no, sometimes there is a reason. Oh god, it's Tomie, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it always is when it's tournament server. But I can wish and I can hope and I can. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect anything different. I think we have seen Envoy before, actually. And what if I'm not like incredibly insane? I think it was from Dongshin, but I don't remember. So don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure Dongshin played Envoy. I think. I don't remember specifically, but I do think so. I also miss Dongshin. I'm very excited for COA to come back. I wish that he was not on FPXEQ. Ooh, but we are gonna get our beautiful first hit in there. Nicely done from Kotami, using the main body to block that window and immediately just getting the hit in on the Acrobat. Nicely done. We are going to see the Patroller coming out here as well. This is going to be a very fast first down if Badman's not able to avoid it. And with that flywheel, the flywheel's still on cooldown. We do have a pallet here to use, but oh, it's going to be very, very close. We're going to nicely done with that bomb and with the pallet drop. I do think that canceled the Patroller. Banban getting a lot of distance here. Does have Flywheel up as well if we do need to. Oh, nicely done. Patroller is gone and flywheeling the hit as well using the interaction bomb here. But unfortunately is going to take the hit. It was from the leech though, but that leech is going to be back in play off cooldown. It was about a 3 Cypher Kite, a little bit under, but we're looking at about the same Cypher progress as we saw with the first down in the previous match. So still not bad. Definitely still in draw territory right now. But that was a very strong opening performance. Yeah, that is the thing that's happening right now, is that the pallets aren't being broken. But it's okay. We're going to send out our second Patroller here, going to catch Namiko. heading in for the chair. Namiko does have Tide, though, so this is going to be a Tide rescue. Once again, we are seeing... Actually, yeah, we're seeing a little bit more of that daring persona kind of collection here. Neither Acrobat or Gardener have borrowed time. We're looking at Tide Turner and Broken Windows on the Gardener, Flywheel on Acrobat. So, yeah, a lot of fun with that. But yeah, this palette is still not broken here. We're gonna have our third patroller of the match coming through. Another one just landed on the Acrobat here and immediately down with the leech. Nicely done. We're gonna have another leech placed on the ground. And yeah, Acrobat's going to be second chair here, but we still have Tide Turner on the forward. Are we? Okay, no, we're just heading into the corner here. For a second, I thought we might try for basement, and I'm like, no, it's a little bit risky. I feel like if anything, if Kotami wanted to be insane, there could have been like a little bit like a ball hit trick on the stairs and then getting into basement, but I feel like that would have been too much work for it to actually be worth it. So, you know. But forward coming in, stunning that leech, nicely done. Unfortunately, looks like that's either the spawn follower or the leech there. I'm not sure which is which, but no, yeah, the chair is very hard to rebound from. And a switch to blink, nicely done there from the Dream Witch. Ban is going to be going down. That was the spawn follower, I think. So, we're actually moving though, and this is going to be one cipher remaining. That cipher is at 50%. Losing. Are we losing the Acrobat? I don't want to lose the Acrobat. Okay, no, we do have the leech on Acrobat and we're okay. It's a little bit scary for a second, but I think we're okay here. Extending a little bit here. Oh, and forward missing the stun. Ace. Don't know. No. Oh my god. No, that. Oh my goodness. That has changed this match completely. Oh my god. One missed stun to lose it all. I'm going to see Kairu taking a hit there. Oh my god. Can I have a bite of your meatball sub, please? I need to have dinner after this. But wow. 3 survivors remaining. We're working on that final cipher. It's at about 60%. We've got 2 ciphers at about 60-70%. All survivors are injured, though. It does look like Ace has managed to pick up a syringe, though, so we will have forward back to full health soon enough, but oh my god, Ace. Oh, but it happens. Everyone misses a stun sometimes. Pro players are no exception. But oh my god. Getting stuck in this position against the Dream Witch is just bad. It's just bad to be in. Yeah, Namiko did go into the basement to get get something out of the chest there. Unfortunately, did not get a syringe. But yeah, this is just not a position you want to be in. With all survivors injured here, it's very, very easy for Dream Witch to snowball. And that Dream Witch snowball is not fun. Both of these ciphers are at about 70% now, but Dream Witch is in a position where she can just look at both of them all the time. We've got multiple leeches on the field. We've got 2 leeches on the field. Ace can remove his, but I don't think Kairu can unless coming into contact with Ace, because Kairu has not picked up a leech mark here. So yeah, it's gonna be tricky here. It does look like we are working on removing those leeches, maybe? Okay, no, I think I had it backwards. Yeah, okay, the leech has been removed. That's my bad. Whoops, I got my colors mixed up. Yeah, so the only leech on the field here is on Namiko right now. Ace has removed that leech. But the spawn follower, yeah, the main body is still, or the main follower is still in the reception area. We've got Namiko's leech kind of trailing behind here. Dream Witch in the center of the map, and this is the thing. Are we just setting up one big sandwich? Hold on. Hold on. Getting Namiko towards the center here. Having... Yeah, the leech is chasing Namiko into... Oh, this is crazy! That's crazy! What? What? The amount of focus, the amount of control you have to have with the Dream Witch to make that happen, that is insane! And that's just a breakdown of communication on AWG's side, completely and utterly. They are usually much more in sync than that. But the fact that she was able to get them both into the church at once. But we are going to see that final cipher pop, and Kairu out here with the decoy to get that pop in. Absolutely incredible there. Ace is still going to be on chair, though. This is, I would say, it's not going to be easy for them to get this. It's really not. But my God. Yeah, Kairu really didn't have a choice but to pop the cipher there. You know, if you don't pop the cipher, then you're not going to get any chance to do it again. Kairu running around the dungeon here. Ace still on chair. Namiko about to get leeched at the exit gate. That gate is at 70%. But it looks like Kairu heading back to the chair. Namiko is going to go down here, but Ace is off chair. Leech is in the area, though. Can definitely still bring this back for AWG, but... that exit gate's not going to open fast enough. We've got the follower over here. Ace needs to be careful. Is not quite going to get that hit just yet. Needs to make sure we get Namiko in the chair. That is done. And Ace is going to go down. It does look like that. Was that a leech? I think that was a spawn. No, I think that was a spawn follower. And that gate is going to be open, but Ace still on the ground. Main body is in the area. And we have a leech in play inside the exit gate here. Kairu has to be very, very careful if we want to get just one escape out here. And that is going to be a solo escape from a draw situation. That one missed stun. One missed stun changed the entire outlook of the game. That is absolutely insanely well played here from MY. And, you know, I mean, the unfortunate thing is that, you know, with a result that was not a 4-man elimination, they only needed that one man in order to secure the win. No, I'm in the wrong bracket. So that's 5, 1, 0, 3. So we are looking at a 3-point lead here from AWG because of that. Because of the 4-man elimination, but damn! Damn! Nicely done there. That I have never in my life seen a breakdown of communication that serious from a pro team against the Dream Witch. I genuinely think that the one missed stun threw them off so hard. Like that, oh my God. Because I do think that stun like used the entire ball as well. And then it just missed. You know, high risk, high reward. Damn! Damn! That was just crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't even have anything else to say about that. Wow. I have never in my life seen a Dream Witch do that. Like, I've seen crazy Dream Witch plays from here to, you know... I've seen so many crazy Dream Witch plays. That's kind of the name of the game when you're talking about COA. But for a Dream Witch to have that sort of control endgame... yeah, like, they had no presence on those ciphers. They were just running around like headless chickens for the majority of that endgame. It's honestly crazy that Kairu was able to pop that cipher. It really was. That was just incredible. Really, really incredible. I do want to look at the highlight reel, honestly, for that. Yeah, we're looking at 3-6 here, with AWG in the lead. But what a performance there from Kotami. just incredible. I do want to look at the highlight reel because my god, what a couple of matches that we've had here. Yeah, we're going to see Aeroplanist first chase. We've got the chair here. It looks like we're going to see that rescue coming in. Nope, actually that was kind of a nothing clip. I don't know how that got in, but okay. Anyway, seeing the rescue here from Mercenary. And I'm surprised the teleport didn't make it in. I feel like the teleport was where the match changed, but, you know. I don't know how they're selecting these highlight reel clips. That was highlight reel worthy, though. The usage of the main body to block that window, that's honestly when I should have known Kotami was, like, for real. Because that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. I want to see this happen again, okay? I really want to see this happen again. We're watching A's. We've got that ball coming through and just not going to connect. And that is going to be it for that entire match. That is just so... One moment. One missed stun. And it's over. Over. And it's not even over because they still won by that 1 point. Kairu just getting barely out the gate here. Barely out the gate. And that was their win. That was their win. Just, that's what I love about tournament, is that you don't have to win, you just have to do better than the other team. And that's exactly what AWG did. Just what a performance there. Just to start us off, you know, we still have more rounds to go. And that's just crazy. And this is only day 1. But getting into the map bans and picks for round 2 here if my stream stops buffering. Sorry, am I not paying? My cat is here. She's not happy that I've been ignoring her for the past 2.5 hours. But yeah, for our bans and picks here, it looks like we're going to ban, I can't actually see that, Arms Factory. We're going to ban Arms Factory, and in its place, we're going to be on Moonlit River Park. And Yukakina has made his debut. Smiling. At this point, I feel like it is really, I should let her commentate, honestly. Hey. Ugh. She's on my lap now. I don't have a camera, but, like, she's here. If she has something to say, then, she will say it. And I don't know if my mic will pick it up, but we'll see. But yeah, looks like we are going to ban the Priestess and the Aeroplanist. Once again, that Aeroplanist ban is coming through, which is understandable, honestly, after that kite in the first round. We're going to ban Opera Singer, so we could see Wax Artist, we could see Hermit. I think Yukakina's played Bloody Queen before, we could see that. But I would honestly expect more towards that Wax Artist, more towards that Hermit. But our first 2 picks for MY should be coming in shortly. We've got Psychologist and Acrobat. I feel like they're gearing up for a Wax Artist in this case, or they're just very well, I guess Psychologist also works for a Hermit. And honestly, Acrobat as well. If you're able to bomb out of the stuns, the problem is that the stuns aren't really predictable. But if you're just able to keep your track unpredictable, I think it would just be much harder to stun. Why are they always, like, downed when they land? Is it because they've been dropped by the hunter? That's honestly funny. I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, we've got Mercenary as our 3rd pick in here. We've banned a lot of stunners here. We're banning the Antiquarian as well as the Prospector. So for our last pick, we are going to see Enchantress. Just a little bit of extra security coming in at the end here, in case Yukakina plays the Hermit. But I don't know. I feel like we're going to see Wax Artist. If Yukakina plays Hermit here, I have a lot of questions. Like, a lot of questions. But I guess we will see. I'm gonna put my money on Wax Artist. If it's Hermit, then I don't know. That's true. That is true. Banning stunners as Wax Artist is not Yeah. It could go either way, honestly. But I feel like with the Enchantress and the Psychologist on the field, we're gonna want to go Wax. But Hermit's definitely still on the table. Lola, you are stuck in my cords. Stuck. You are stuck. Please don't move. You are going to knock everything off my desk, Lola. Thank you for cooperating with me. Yeah, so waiting on that hunter pick here. It looks like they're just taking their sweet time locking in their persona webs, which understandable, you know, if you're getting either a Wax Artist or a Hermit, those are very different hunters. Okay, we are gonna go with Wax Artist. Few. Well, there's not really any situation where I can be relieved here, because Wax Artist can definitely still struggle on Moonlit. He's good on Moonlit, but he's also bad on Moonlit. You know, there's kind of two ways that this can go. The first way is that Wax Artist, you know, it's a lot of open areas. There's a lot of just ways to get survivors stuck. You can wax off pretty much every area on Moonlit. So yeah, there's basically nowhere for survivors to go if you're in the right position. However, there's a lot of distance that can be broken. Obviously, there's no Priestess on the team. Enchantress is going to struggle. Enchantress is going to struggle a lot in this match. But other than that, I feel like most of the other survivors are pretty good. Yukakina needs to spawn at first stop, though. I think. Yukakina okay, yeah, we are going to spawn at first stop here, heading right for the Enchantress. Oh, no. Wait. Go back. Yes. Lock in? Yes! Okay, we are going to spawn near the Enchantress there. Good on Yukakina for doing that. But with... It really is just a matter of, can we bait Enchantress into taking the coaster before Acrobat gets to it? Because Acrobat's going to take some time to get to the right side of the coaster in order to turn off the stop. So Yukakina just needs to either get Namako to take the coaster or get Namako to not take the coaster at all and just stay in that first stop area. Also, Lola left, so she's not going to be witnessing the horrors. But yeah, that's pretty much how this first chase should go here. If we're able to get like a wax on, if we're able to just stop Namako is really the name of the game. But yeah, I'm always scared. I'm always scared when Yukakina play. But yeah. Yeah, we're good. I really wish I could see the persona webs and the traits on this screen. I love knowing what the persona webs and traits are before we go into a match, and I hate having to squint at the side of the screen to see them. But it's fine. It's okay. Getting into things here, Yukakina is going to take a second to load in, it looks like. But Namako already at that stop, and just trying to keep as much distance as possible here. The stops are so dangerous to get stuck on as a hunter because you can just do this. You know, Namako already having a great loop set up here. 2 ciphers have been started already as well. And it does look like, are we going to take the coaster? Yes. The question here, I don't think that stop is turned off unless... Oh, no, it is. When and how? And when and how? Yeah, so that, I think... Okay, no, Mercenary was the one to go after it, I think. Yeah, Mercenary turned the stop off. And, yep. That's gonna be a huge amount of distance covered here from Namako. And, yeah, that really is... That's the problem. That is the problem with Moonlit River Park. And heading to the first stop for your first chase, inevitably something like this is going to happen. So yeah, that is just a beautiful outplaying here from MY. We are going to get our first hit in, and that really is the thing, you know, with these teams, with these coordinated survivors, things happen, and you go, when did that happen? Like, when did that get healed up? When did that stop get turned off? And they've just done it, you know? And a beautiful 3-stack stun there, and I think, I can't tell if that was actually out of the range? But ooh, a little bit unfortunate there. Looks like Namako actually used that flywheel a little bit too early. Hi Alec. things are happening. Yukakina things are happening. But yeah, we are, Mercenary is going to be coming in for the rescue. We were able to get that, the Cypher locked off, so that was pretty good. Yeah, honestly, I feel like they're well, okay, they are at 4 Cyphers remaining, but ooh, a beautiful rescue at 49% there. Nicely done there from Lim H. And heading just back on Namako here. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty fast down unless we're able to use the stun at this point in the game. Yeah, the stuns are not going to be useful here at all. Either way, Namako is going to go down. That was pretty much an inevitability there. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. They are kind of lagging behind in their Cypher progress right now. It's good and it's doable, but they have to get back to the Cyphers, and on a map like Moonlit River Park, it's a little bit more difficult to do that. So yeah, it's not quite Hermit. Well, it's like a little bit. It's like soft Hermit ciphers. Hard Hermit ciphers is when every single cipher on the map has been started. Soft Hermit ciphers is when they've decoded too many ciphers and haven't finished any of them. But yeah, heading back into this, we're gonna see that stun come through, and Namako is immediately gonna be shot up to that. Please stop criticizing my phrasing on things. I don't do it on purpose. But I could say so much right now that I'm not going to say. But yeah, that is going to be Enchantress sent back to the manor here, and the survivors are pretty much set. We've got 2 ciphers at about and past 50%. That looks like we are actually abandoning one of those 50% ciphers and moving on to a different one, which is fine because that's a cipher here at 4th stop, which is just not going to be able to be returned to while Mercenary is using it as a kiting area. On the note of Mercenary, we have 1 elbow pad remaining. Yukakina, yet just getting caught in this loop here, has teleport but isn't using it just yet. I feel like we need to use it sooner than later. Especially since these last 2 ciphers are pretty much on par with each other. No, but just missing that double hit there. Lim H using that last elbow pad to get as much distance as possible. And once again, we are just glancing at those ciphers. Both of them are at about 80%. This is going to be they might honestly double prime this, but there's the teleport heading onto the bridge here. That cipher is going to be stuck at 91%. It looks like they might just go ahead and pop that second to last cipher so that they have 2 ciphers here to work on. Mercenary can return to that cipher here, and that is exactly what he's going to do. Mercenary returning to that cipher at 4th stop. And that, with accelerated decoding in play, that's going to be decoded pretty quickly, a little bit slower than it would be if it wasn't a Mercenary, but it's still okay. Oh, and Shiro is going to go down there from that pallet stun with the hot wax activated. That's a little bit of unfortunate miscalculation, but with that cipher at 87%, and Reinako is in the area here, doesn't have Tide Turner, but is, still at full health. Oh, but Yukakina playing around a little bit, not wanting Acrobat to be at full health here. But yeah, just is going to have to take the chair. We're going to get that firebomb in. So no wax in play for this rescue. And for a significant time after, we're just going to use this time to break the pallet. It has worn off, but immediately we're going to pop the cipher. I feel like we might have honestly wanted to wait on that. That was not a good pop. That was a bad pop. That was a very bad miscommunication there. They really should have waited on that pop. Popping it there just killed the psychologist. Though that is going to be a secured draw. So, not the worst case scenario here. Is it the best case scenario? No. Is it probably the same result that we would have gotten if they'd waited to pop the cipher? Probably. But yeah, that could have gone if okay, you know what? No, actually, I understand. I understand the cipher pop from the perspective of they wanted to pop the cipher and get the gate open before Yukakina's teleport came back. I get it now. I understand that. Because they would have gotten a draw probably either. They wanted to play for a draw here, That was the safest bet that they could do. If they had tried to push it for a 3-man escape, it probably would have turned into a 3-man elimination because Yukikina would have had teleport up. Yep. That makes sense now. So, not the best pop in the world, but definitely a pop that was good. For a tournament. You know, if it was rank, taking the risk of popping the Cypher a little bit later would have been, you know, perfectly reasonable. But that very much could have gone in a bad way, if it had been, you know, with the teleport up. But yeah, you know, very nicely done there from MY. They really are a good team. They're impressing me. I mean, I think all of the amateur teams here are just playing, you know, really, really well, all things considered. But moving on to the next match, it does look like we are going to swap out Kotami here for Yuri. MY is the team that has 3 hunters, so they definitely have, like, a lot of options to choose from. You do get 2 hunter subs. I think 2 hunter subs and 2 survivor subs. So the going to round 3, they could definitely bring out their 3rd hunter. That would be interesting. To see 3 different hunters play for a team. But I don't like that. Anyway, yeah, we are going to ban the Seer and the Aeroplanus first. Not banning Priestess is a bad idea, Yuri. Not banning Priestess is a bad idea, Yuri. Please, no. I can already see that Priestess coming in on AWG's side first. But we do have to wait for the Hunter Man to go through. Hunter Man is obviously going to be Opera Singer. Are we going to see a Priestess here? I would be very surprised if we don't take this opportunity to lock in Priestess. Okay, no, but understandable. Understandable. We are going to lock in the Dancer and the Antiquarian. If we don't ban Priestess here, we're going to get a Priestess. It's Priestess time. Unless they want to lock in First Officer. It's either First Officer or Priestess. Maybe Patient. But I'm gonna say Priestess. But also, Asia teams tend to not use Priestess as much as we do here. Yeah, it's gonna be forward. Which is interesting after the last match. I'm a little bit surprised that they're taking the risk on the forward again. Is this gonna be Priestess ban? Sometimes it is a little bit useless to wait on the Priestess pick. Okay, that is gonna be a Priestess ban. I'm a little bit surprised that AWG didn't lock in the Priestess first. But yeah, I mean, it's understandable here, especially since they do have their powerhouses already. And okay, there we are. They are going to lock in the Embalmer. Embalmer here is going to be the big one. Kind of, I feel like Embalmer here is kind of standing in for the Priestess almost. Not so much in, like, the transportation sense, but more so in the, like, saving down survivors and transporting down survivors across the map. That's where Embalmer comes in. That's why they don't need the Priestess. This is called the team comp that they practiced with. This is definitely, like, one of those situations where it's like they have a playbook here, and they're going with that playbook. I'm a little bit scared of A's coming back on that forward, though. I mean, it was a mistake, you know? Mistakes happen all the time. Oh no. I'm starting to see the vision here. To be fair, okay? This is not a terrible team comp for Hermit. Unless you chase Kairu first. Now, this is what we're not going to do, is chase Kairu first. You do not want to go to 4th stop. You want to cross the bridge. You want to go to 2-story. It's not going to be fun, but you want to chase the Embalmer. You do not want to chase the female dancer, who always spawns at 4th stop, by the way. I understand that spawn point. I understand this spawn point. It's a good spawn, especially when they take this kind of spawn. You know, you're playing Hermit, you're likely playing Hermit with with insolence here, so you will kind of be able to maneuver around that stop sooner or later, especially if you're able to get an early first hit in. You can definitely, like, maneuver the stop. But yeah, it's a lot to reckon with, I guess. The problem here for Hermit is that Kairu is just really, really good. And I might be giving Kairu too much credit. Maybe. But we are... Okay, Worn Clothes I respect. I respect the Worn Clothes drip. Because I play with Worn Clothes. And I really like Hermit Worn Clothes, actually. I think it's one of the best Worn Clothes we have. Because his default is, like, whatever. But the Worn Clothes really highlights, like, how much the, like, Electrical Blast, like, got him. But, okay, early stun is good. And we've got the ciphers at least somewhat connected. It's a little bit of an interesting connection here, though, because I don't think, or are the other, no, the other survivors, I think the other survivors are actually waiting to start decoding. Maybe. Or not, but I only see, okay, no, they're just not on a connection. But nicely done with this music box here. Yuri not breaking this pallet is just gonna have to deal with the slow box, which, understandable, but also, once again, this is Kairu we are dealing with here. Okay, yeah, if we are able to get this stun in here, nicely done, getting our first hit, but as it is right now, we're starting to get that Hermit Cypher progress here. But nicely done with that blink. We're going to get that down very, very quickly. About a minute into the match. Okay, not so quickly as much as average, but a good first down nonetheless. But already we have one cipher at 74%. And it's off the connection. So, yeah. It's not a bad start, though. It's really not. We do have... It's not great that we have most of the ciphers connected right now, because this is going to be a lot of early progress on ciphers that wouldn't have been decoded otherwise. And here we go with Ace with a stun that's actually landed. Very nicely done here, just to delay Yuri a little bit longer. Looks like we're not actually going to go for the... We're not actually going to go for the stun right away, but we're going to get that landed on Kairu, but unfortunately it's not going to be a double stun here. We're going to be able to maybe, no, Kairu getting a little bit too much distance there, and the coffin coming in. That's where our priestess is really going to come through. Beautiful flywheel to avoid that stun as well, just wasting even more time here. This is really where Kairu's kiting prowess shows, I think. We're seeing that, Yuri getting a little bit tripped up there. That was a very risky pirouette. If Yuri had continued to go in the opposite direction, that would have been directly into where Female Dancer was kiting. However, Yuri getting a little bit kind of uncertain, and that's going to be that shared damage here over to the forward. We can get a double down here. If we charge Kairu on red, we can get a double down. The problem is going to be charging Kairu on red. Okay, we've got that in, but it does look like we're going to have if A is going to switch off, no. A's needs to switch off the connection if we don't want a double down situation, but that's exactly... it's not going to be double down, it's going to actually keep Kairu around for longer. That was very nicely played here with the Hermit math. Just extending this kite as long as possible here. It was smart to put Kairu on the red connection, though, just to get a little bit extra damage here. But, just getting a little bit tripped up with that teleport. And just, this is, again, here we are. This is Kairu just kiting and kiting and kiting. Finally going to get that down. But what a containment up until that point. We do have the coffin in play as well. That coffin's definitely all the way across the map by here. We do have, okay, so we are carrying trump card. We do have teleport, and that coffin is going to come through. Where is that coffin? We don't actually see the coffin yet. Where's the coffin? Or was it in, okay, so it was at the top of 2-story. But again, that is just going to be so much distance for Yuri to try and cover. Kairu just waiting at the top of the 2-story here. You're expecting a drop down. That's not going to be the case. Finally figuring it out, heading upstairs, but already Kairu is going to be dropping down sooner or later and taking that speed boost that female dancer gets upon falling from a height. Oh, and overshooting that teleport. Really, really unfortunate there. And Antiquarian is in the area. Namiko coming through with the steel chair, just ready to support this kite. We've got 3 ciphers remaining, but those 3 ciphers are about to pop here. We've got 2 of them at 85%, and that is the problem here with connecting ciphers that aren't being decoded in early game against a hermit. You want to connect the ciphers that the survivors are on, even if it's going to mean that, oh my goodness, knocking right out of the stun. That was absolutely incredible work there from Namiko. And oh, we're gonna disconnect the ciphers, but it's too late. It's way too late. They're just going to pop. We do have detention though, but all 3 out of 4 of those survivors are on red charge here. And we do have, we can connect the gates here. We should probably do that sooner than later. But are we gonna be able to get this? Ooh, nice playing around there, but yeah, that's not going to get Namiko down. Namiko and Kairu are the strongest members of AWG, and we're seeing that like full force entirely. They're just incredible kiters. And I this is why I love watching AWG, because they have such a good team. It was that okay, no, that was a hit, but it's not going to get Kairu down because that shared damage, and the coaster is going to come through, but that gate's already open. Ace is going to go down, but Banban's already out the gate here. They need a draw at least. If they're able to get a 3-man or a 4-man escape here, that is going to be the win for AWG. Both of the other survivors, let's see, Namiko is where? Namiko's at 2-story here. Kairu is over at the other gate. And yeah, there's just no chance for Yuri to catch up here. That is going to be a 3-man escape for AWG. Just absolutely incredibly played there. And that really is, you don't want to chase Kairu. You don't. You can't. You can't chase Kairu first, because that is what's going to happen. You just will be kited. And just wow. Wow. I don't love seeing it, but I do love seeing it. When survivors are able to stun hermits mid-teleport. Because that's the thing, you know, and it's very hard to keep track of this when you're playing Hermit, because you can't see where your body is as much when you're trying to teleport, and you also can't see where if there's survivors around your body. So entomologist bees, any kind of stunner can come through and just knock you out of that teleport. And it is the most painful and humiliating experience that you can have as a hermit, but it's very real. And is very much something that can happen, does happen, will happen, did happen in this match. And just so well played. But that is going to be, I forgot to update the score, but that is going to be a very decisive win here for AWG. Though only by one fraction of each round. I do. Not on purpose, but I do. But yeah. It's more painful watching it happen to a lizard than it is watching it happen to a hermit, because I just think it's funny when it happens to a hermit, honestly. But I feel the pain of lizards who get knocked out of the sky. I don't feel the pain of hermits who get knocked out of the sky. I laugh because it's funny. But yeah, that was just so unfortunate there for Yuri there, and so unfortunate for MY. I do think this is the case of 2 teams where it's like the hunter, they need a round 2 hunter that can be as insane as their round 1 hunter, because the performances of Brontal and, oh my god, I'm blanking on the name. Was it Kotem? Don't remember MY's Stream Witch's name. Koteki? ? But yeah, their round 1 hunters are absolutely crazy, and that just needs to be reflected in the round 2 hunters. And that's kind of the thing to me as well, with how married the overseas teams are to having a round 1 and a round 2 hunter. It's something that I kind of like a little bit more about Kotami, thank you. I knew I had the right letters, but not in the right order. But yeah, no, it's yeah. But that is what I like more about teams that only have one hunter. Like FL, they only have Hasha. They have no other hunter, but Hasha is just that good. That FL is still able to be one of the top teams because Hasha is just crazy. Hasha was playing round best of 5s solo hunter. Like it's crazy. But I do like that is something, there's pros and cons to having teams that only have one hunter. Hunter can get fatigued and you have no other choice. But teams with 2 hunters, just having the other hunters swap in immediately is just not always the best choice. Sometimes you want to have your round 1 hunter shine a little bit more because there's still only one hunter ban. So if your round 1 hunter has, let's say, Opera Singer and Dream Witch, you play Dream Witch or Opera Singer round 1, and then you play Dream Witch or Opera Singer round 2, and you can still function on that and have your third wildcard hunter come in round 3. And I think that's a Halcyon tactic, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. They have their hunter usually hunts twice, and then they have their round 3 hunter come in. But yeah. Oh my god, yeah, no, with CH4, absolutely. They do need a secondary hunter. Because the thing with only having one hunter is that it does become kind of predictable, and then teams can learn how to counter that one hunter. And, you don't have something else to kind of switch it up. But I really do think that these teams would... Oh, my god, yeah, of course Brontal has best deduction. That's, that's a no-brainer. I mean, Kairu definitely, contender for best deduction here, but MVP Brontal, absolutely. Genuinely some of the best opera singer. I think the best opera singer gameplay we saw today. And I feel like some of the best opera singer gameplay in all of qualifiers, I think. But yeah, just so incredibly smooth. Just nerfless opera singer. But yeah, that is going to be all from me. I will 99% chance be back tomorrow. Probably at 3 p.m. EST. We might do the later time again, but I'm 99% will be at 3 p.m. EST. For day 2 of qualifiers. If not, I will maybe be able to catch up on Monday, but I'm gonna try and get it all done this weekend. I'm, keeping up a good schedule or whatever. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I will remember to upload this to YouTube, and I will not forget. So you can watch it there in case you missed part of the stream, in case you want to rewatch it for some reason. Yeah, but yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for sticking. If you stuck here the whole time, thank you. If you're just here, thank you. Who's playing tonight? I actually don't know. Let me check. Let me check that. Let's see. I think I'm on Twitter for this. There we go. Identity V champion. We've got... Let's see. We have clips from last night. Next match. Okay, we've got... Oh, wait. Are they doing 4 tomorrow? It does look like we're doing 4 matches, I think. Unless. Okay, so either way, up next... Yeah, no, I think everything is happening tonight. We've got Fav Gaming versus AN, or AN. STR versus FL. AXIZ versus RC, and MY is playing... Oh yeah, AXIZ and MY are playing again versus RC and JP. So... I'm definitely that does kind of change things. I don't know how many matches they're gonna do on Sunday, or if they're gonna do matches on Sunday, or Saturday night, I guess, into Sunday. I'll see. Depending on that, I'll see how much I'm able to actually keep up with this. I might just do like the top 2 matches of each day, because I really can't of that. I am busy. But yeah. I'll see how much I can keep up with for their scheduling, but I do think from what it looks like, I think unless they start doing more scramble matches on like on the day 3 of week 1, you know, it is what it is. But I will keep up to the best of my ability. That's enough from me. I will upload this to YouTube, and yeah, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for watching through the whole thing. And I will see you all tomorrow. And goodbye.